Welcome, everyone, to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, the twice-a-week all-sports podcast that takes place every single Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every single Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame to his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
And with us here, I'd say special. He's a fixture of the show almost.
Yeah, almost. He's here every week.
Sometimes.
Twice a week.
Sometimes.
He's here on time. He usually starts on time. It's TJ who's running half hour late every single podcast. Every podcast.
Yeah. Keep telling your story.
Let me tell you something. Stop trying to bag on son X. He's a good son.
That's right. It's X time, baby. Don't you bag on me.
What the hell is that on your wrist, X? Did you get done at a hospital stay or something?
Sunday.
There you go. It's Sunday.
Oh, are you wearing a wristband that seriously says Sunday?
It says Sunday on it.
I'm not even going to ask. X.
Grumpy knows.
I know.
Anyway, that being said, welcome. This is a twice-a-week all-sports podcast, and we talk anything and everything sports. We talk NHL, NBA, NFL, college athletics, MLB, NBA. We talk world football. For those in North America, soccer. We talk anything and everything sports on this show. And for today's episode, we've got quite a bit to talk about. We have a full docket for this evening. A big blockbuster trade happened in the NHL. Erik Karlsson headed to the Pittsburgh Penguins. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the Pac-12 disintegrating in front of our very eyes. It was like Thanos snapped his fingers and the Pac-12 went
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Exactly. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. And the Big 12 is no more. We're going to talk about that, what this has further implications on the landscape of college athletics. We're also going to go ahead and talk about the U.S. women's national team. Lost today. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about.
They suck. They're done.
Okay, thank you, Peanut Gallery A. But we're going to talk a little bit about, there was some interesting things that happened on the baseball diamond here recently that we're going to talk about and cover as well. And hey, NFL football is almost getting back into the full swing of things. So it's going to be a heavy.
Also, TJ, I don't know if you saw, but the Nate Diaz-Jake Paul fight took place this weekend as well.
I did see that. It's hard to watch. I'll be honest. Did you actually watch the fight, X?
I watched the highlights of the fight.
What did you think of it? It looked like a 38-year-old UFC fighter for the first time strapping up and going to box somebody who's a 26-year-old in the prime of his career in a boxing match. Is that kind of what it looked like?
That's exactly what it was. So,
Yeah, I was about to say, Nate Diaz, when I watched him work out and I watched him hit the bags, he's a grappler. He's a UFC grappler, and a UFC grappler went in there and fought a boxer. Here's the thing. The one boxer Jake Paul fought that actually was a boxer, beat the living piss out of him. Yeah, so
Fury's younger brother.
Did Tommy Fury actually fight him?
Yeah, he fought him and beat him.
Okay, I didn't remember if Tommy Fury fought him or not.
He kicked his ass. Well, they said it went to decision.
Split decision.
No, it wasn't split decision. It was like, he wasn't knocked out, but he won the fight.
Hold on, Grumpy, are you okay? Grumpy, you look like you're going light speed to Endor. What's going on there, buddy?
Talking about this loser.
You're a big Jake Paul fan.
I hate him.
You are, because he supports We Hoopin'.
Does he really?
Another reason for me not like that shameless promoter of himself.
That's
low. Max, does he really support We Hoopin'?
I have no idea. I was just saying that to get on a grumpy skin.
Wouldn't surprise me. Morons of a feather flock together.
Morons of a feather flock together, Grumpy says. But again, before we get started into the meat and potatoes of the podcast, if you're new to this channel, make sure you do a few things for us. And make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any further content that we put out and release. And also make sure to hit the thumbs up button, the little ding, the little thumbs up button. Apparently that helps the algorithm. It helps get this fun time of just shooting the shit and talking sports out to the masses and grow the community of the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man supporters. Not so much the Sun X supporters because he doesn't have too many supporters.
And I'm talking to the people from Islanders Never Say Die podcast. They should all be subscribing to this one.
Absolutely. We got a comment here from Tony Cheese saying that's the type of wristband that they give the people with old timers disease.
Grumpy, where's yours?
He's beat the disease, X.
That's right.
That's it. Sure.
Not so much. Let's start diving in here. I want to talk some baseball first. This happened a little earlier on in the week, and I loved, it's great when people who listen to the show and tune in start tagging us in items that they know are going to be great topics of discussion here for the channel. Now, you guys know Giancarlo Stanton. What do you guys think about Giancarlo Stanton? What do you think about him as an MLB player for the Yankees?
He was never as good as he was at Miami with the Yankees. That's what I think of him.
Okay, wow. Nice in-depth analysis, X.
What's the truth?
Here's the thing. He's on a couple of my fantasy teams this year, and I picked him late, but he's, always been streaky, and I've been unhappy with his performance overall. But he can carry a team. Hopefully he's getting hot here come playoff time.
So I saw a stat about him. I think it was his batting average in away games is lower than the amount of legal, if you were pulled over for driving drunk. So it's under 0.1.
Wow. I did not know that.
He's batting under 100.
Here's the problem with Giancarlo Stanton. Seriously. He comes into Yankee Stadium, it's like home run or bust, and that works out just fine for him. And no one's ever corrected him. And that's why he is what he. That's the problem with the Yankees, honestly. And he should be the poster child for the Yankees' problems. Homer or bust.
But what do you think about him as a player? Where do you think his effort level is? I'm trying to get at. So he struggled. Okay. He struggled with the Yankees. But what do you think about him as a professional? Right? I mean,
he's a designated hitter, as far as I'm concerned. He's muscle bound, which limits him out in the field, as well as being able to hit certain pitches. And his effort is not optimal. Is that a nice way to put it?
Okay.
Not optimal?
You think sure. Effort level is not optimal.
Sometimes downright shitty. But I'm going to say, I'm feeling nice today. I'm going to say not optimal in all circumstances or most circumstances. Let's see it.
What do you think? What do you think, Sun X?
I mean, I already told you he's nowhere near as good of a player with the Yankees as he was with Miami.
Where do you think his effort level usually sits?
He sometimes hustles. He sometimes does. It depends on the situation.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I just got both your takes. I want to go ahead and understand. This was Justin Verlander's first game pitching for the Houston Astros after he was traded from the Mets. And I want to understand whether you think this is one of those times where Giancarlo Stanton has the hustle hat on or if he's got the dog hat on this.
That one is served into right field. It is a base hit. Fielded by Dubon. Here comes Stanton. Here's the throw. Here's the play.
Oh, my
and
God.
He is out. But they still got him.
I agree. This was even up the first baseline. I thought maybe he had a chance to score. There you see, wasn't running real well.
My God.
So where do we put that on the Charlie Hustle scale? Okay. Would that be about 1 out of 10 Charlie Hustles or 10 out of 10 Charlie Hustles, Grumpy?
Well, all right. I just want to say one thing. Earlier in the year, he hit a ball that he thought was a home run, and it banged off the wall in Yankee Stadium. And then he saw that maybe he would have to hustle into second, and he pulls a freaking hamstring, and he was out like 8-10 weeks, which hurt my fantasy team. So as far as I'm concerned, that's an issue. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he realized, hey, I'm on the Grumpy Old Man's fantasy team this season. I want to make sure I don't get an injury down the stretch, so I'm going to sacrifice a run because his team is freaking loaded, but I'm going to keep myself healthy to hit home runs the last number of weeks of the season to give the Grumpy Old Man the coveted Fantasy League championships.
I mean, he's just loafing.
Oh,
he is. He looks like he's out for a Sunday stroll.
He looks like Babe Ruth jogging around the fucking bases back in the 20s.
You want to know you don't be running like that?
Why the
Otani,
fuck
baby.
you bagging on Babe Ruth?
That's right.
This is okay. Look at the okay. Name any old timey player. This is what old
Shohei Ohtani. This looks like Shohei Ohtani. That
shit.
Shohei
Ohtani is massive.
Ohtani is quick. I
Shohei
cannot
Ohtani has the
believe.
ability to steal bases, Grump. Giancarlo Stanton does not.
Oh,
You think that's stealing a base?
It's a bad look. That's a bad look.
It is.
Now, here's the thing. Michael Kay has criticized him before. Now,
Look
I don't
at
know.
this shit.
Oh,
He looks like a player jogging out to his position spot.
Look at him. He is watching the outfielder throw the ball. He's staring at the guy. Look at his ass. You can see his head's turning, watching the ball get thrown in instead of fucking running. Look at this lazy son of a bitch. Look at this.
oh my God.
His head's fucking turned watching the ball. Oh.
Is it wrong to say that the third base coach almost walked faster to home than he ran it?
No.
I don't think it's wrong. That's pretty accurate. Even look at the third base coach. He's not too enthusiastically waving him on. He's like,
No, he's waving him. Come on.
The umpire's
Come on.
thinking, man, this is going to be
It's a
the
base
easiest
hit. Come
call
on.
all day.
Do-do-do-do. And what did Boone say about this? Anything?
hey, we're just not going to roll over here and die, guys. We're still competing for, we're still competing for a pennant, grumpy old man.
Well, I guess this is the difference between the Yankees and wasn't it the Dodgers earlier on in the year where they sat that guy out because they said he wasn't hustling around third base?
St. Louis Cardinals. It was
It
the
was
Cardinals
Cardinals.
and O'Neill.
Yeah, when he was busting his ass around third base. Imagine if they think he was naming Usain Bolt if he played for the Yankees. The way he was running around third.
Oh my God. I just could not get over the lack of effort. This guy's, again, yes, has he had the hamstring injury? Absolutely. But here's the thing. If you're so terrified that if we're talking about gears, right? The player goes into gear, right? He is jogging. When he is jogging right here, he's like in second gear the entire time while jogging. If you can't kick it up to third or fourth gear, I'm not asking you to sprint. I'm asking you to run, motherfucker, not sprint. He couldn't even get into a running pace. He's just out there jogging.
He still plays left field for them, right?
No, he plays DH.
Okay, I was about to say, because if he's in the outfield, he ain't catching a damn ball to save his life.
But remember, he's not been getting a whole lot with Aaron Judge coming back from his toe injury. Judge has been basically playing designated. He's been the designated hitter, which means that Stanton's had to play the outfield. Here's the thing. He's been back from the hamstring for quite a while now. A long time. It's not an issue anymore. Oh my gosh. I was dying to see what Michael Kay said about this and what Boone said, because you have to look at how do you not have some sort of punishment for that?
One of whose take I'm curious of, John Boyce. I'm curious what his take is.
Yeah.
He said
Michael Kay and usually Boone are not they're very critical.
Well, Michael Kay has been critical. Aaron Boone,
he probably said he hustled well.
He said, I like his haircut. I like Giancarlo's haircut.
He didn't want to crinkle up the number on his back by running too hard. He had a rock in his shoe. It was hurting every step he took.
Oh my God.
I don't know what
Holy shit. Here you go. Here's what he had to say about it. Oh, I haven't listened to it. My first time listening to it, but let's listen together.
Aaron, in that third inning when it was knotted up at 1, Giancarlo Stanton was sent there. Do you agree with the send? And
agree with the send?
Like he was really running full speed.
Yeah. G's good. I just didn't think got a great round on third, and got there. Look, ball 2 outs hitting the gap like that. I think you got to take your chances.
So is that his full speed at this particular point in time?
Good question.
I'd have to look at it. Sometimes if he gets going in the right direction, he's got, I think, more than that. Sometimes if it's not an efficient route, he's gonna protect it a little bit.
No wonder the Yankees suck. This piece of shit isn't even watching the fucking games.
No, he's watching the game, but he's too much of a bitch to actually come out and call a player out. That's why you want to know why the Yankees haven't won anything since this piece of trash has been their manager. This is the reason why. We're afraid. We're afraid to alienate the players. Billy Martin, if he was manager, he would have dragged Stanton off the damn field. He would have went out like he did with Reggie. Reggie, I don't know. You all were too young. You don't know about
Not
it.
born.
But Reggie, Billy Martin thought that Reggie loafed on a play. And maybe it might even been running the bases. I forget. So Reggie goes out to position and Billy Martin calls him in. Bam. In the middle of the inning. And Paul Blair goes out there. They wound up having a fight in the damn dugout against the Red Sox. You should be able to pull that up. Reggie's like, me. And here's the thing. I loved Reggie Jackson, but he had a little dog in him sometimes. And Billy Martin called him out on it. They wound up having a big brawl. This was 1978. And it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch live. I really wish it.
Alrighty, hold on a second, Grub. You said 1977?
1978. Billy Martin, Reggie Jackson, fight. So
I see there's a 1977 not so great moment in sports. I think this is the one you're probably looking for.
I thought it was in
dugout
78.
clash.
Let's see.
I'll get it pulled up. Give me a sec here, Grumpy, huh?
Yeah. You said you had it. That's what you said.
Motherfucker, I've got it, Grumpy. Give
Watch
me
your
a sec.
mouth.
I'm getting it pushed over so we could see, okay?
That's right. You do what you meant.
You know what I'm ready to have happen? This somehow give
Here
us
it
a
is.
freaking ban because it's an old-timey clip, but let's listen
Oh,
in.
yep.
Driven to right. Carbo can't get to it. Yes, he did. Carbo, one end of that ball looked like he short-hopped it, but he came up with it. And the size retired on an excellent play by Bernie Carbo. Yankees lead 2-0.
That wasn't it.
First inning.
Get a look at it now in slow motion. Nettles gets all of it, and then it starts to sink out here. We watch Carbo.
Yeah, you can go there. Okay, you two. No, you didn't. You go a little. There you go. Right there.
Hold on. This is a catch made by the outfield. What are you talking
This has
about?
nothing to do with it.
Well, you know, now wait a minute. Umpires can make mistakes too. I'm sure they've all been made.
Oh, that ball
but it's
bounced.
obvious
Look at that.
I
That
call it
ball
right
did
away. I don't
bounce,
know if the
Grumpy.
ball hit the ground, but
It was just a. Why couldn't you just lead it?
Dude, he did.
Oh, look at
I
that.
did, Grumpy.
Oh,
Just look at-
God,
Look
Grumpy
at-
jumps from that to this.
Hold on. Okay, Grumpy, here's the
Oh,
problem,
they
right?
can't find the file in the archives.
You pulled the
Are
wrong
you
one.
misremembering shit, Grumpy? You're doing that
No.
a lot more these days.
That was
Grumpy,
the
do you
fight.
need my wristband? Do you need my wristband?
Shut up.
So it was I'm looking at Reggie Jackson got involved with a lot of these brawls over here.
Yeah,
He was a brawler. As Grumpy said, he's got that dog in him.
a little dog in him. He did. He did. Are you going to show it or not?
Grump, you just complained that was not it.
No, that was it. You just cut it off. You
Hey,
cut it off.
What
Just
I'm
as it
fucking working
started.
with right here.
Dude, you cut it off just as it started. You showed a freaking dude. Look, that's not Reggie Jackson. It was Bernie Carbo. What was the one right after it? My God, so quick.
I thought we were about to see him loafing.
look at
Watch.
Look at Billy. Is he
His
hot?
smile. Look at the smile on fucking Grumpy's face right now.
Reggie has done that on
Hey, Elston
several
had him.
balls hit to right field. Look at Elston getting between him wants to make
Letting him
sure there
bounce.
are no blows struck down there. Billy is really upset.
That may be the first time I've ever seen that happen in a dugout. And a
True.
manager
Look at-
and a player. Billy wants to get at Reggie. He's being restrained by, that's in full view of the crowd, being restrained by Yogi Berra and Elston Howard. Elston
Billy.
Howard has his down. Billy gets around, but now Yogi's got him and trying to wrestle him down.
Yogi's got him.
Yogi's got him, and who's that on the bench? That's Bobby Cox, I believe. No, that was Dick Hauser had him from behind, and Yogi has him in front. And in full view of the Boston crowd on the right side.
Yeah, you don't get to see
Certainly,
the
as you
play.
can see in full view of
Wow,
our
that was a
coverage,
great
He was
we
dogging. He
the
was
game
dogging
with
some
coverage as
plays,
well.
which he tended to do. Instead of hustling after balls, he'd let them bounce in front. And he tended to do that. If Giancarlo, I think he would have went out there and hit him with the baseball bat. That's what he would have done. That's the way Billy Martin was back in the day. He didn't take any of that shit. Then shortly after that, he wound up getting fired by the Yankees after he made a statement to the press, one of many, where he said, "One's a born liar and the other's convicted," speaking about Reggie Jackson and George Steinbrenner. So, you can't really say that about an owner. And George Steinbrenner didn't take too kindly to it, and he fired him. Ba-boom. See you later.
Well, I'm glad that we went down that rabbit hole. For
Not me, because you screwed it up and you sucked all the energy out of the show.
Jesus Christ. This is what happens when we let Grumpy. When he starts going down these old rabbit holes, this is the problem.
No, it's because you don't want to play along. You're too busy throwing stupid shit up there instead of what really happened. Oh, this is going to work out. Yeah, throw us some stats.
I want to go ahead and show you this. Do you remember how Carlos Rondon was struggling a little bit at his first appearance for the Yankees this year? Well, doesn't look like things have panned out so hot for him so far. He's got the 4th worst ERA in the MLB for pitchers who have thrown at least 25 innings. So let me ask you this. Are we willing to say that the Carlos Rondon experiment in signing may be a failure for the Yanks?
Little early yet. As I've mentioned previously, the big thing you have to worry about with pitchers in particular is in pitching in New York is it's a different kind, particularly Yankee Stadium. It's a different kind of atmosphere. Do you have that mental toughness? And really it's tough to know, but like Scherzer, yes, could do it. Verlander, yes. These are mentally tough guys. We've seen how many who are just not mentally tough and they struggle in that situation. Could Carlos Rondon be one of those guys? It's possible. We won't really find out till next year, though.
I like, though, that Luis Severino was also third on this list, too.
He's not right. There's something wrong with him.
The worst in baseball and then the Yankees.
I was about to say, the worst team in baseball, and then you got 2 pitchers on the Yankees at 3rd and 4th worst ERAs.
Those are horrific earned run averages.
Yes.
And I know people want to say, oh, earned run average doesn't mean anything. No, it does. And, now if you have a 4 ERA, that's good. Back when I was younger, everybody had at least a 3.
Back in my day.
3.5, that guy sucks. Now you're an ace.
I remember, okay, Grumpy, I remember back when we were younger, shit, you had a 2s, an ERA towards the 2s or the low 3s. That's where the expectation was, Grump.
Not when you were alive.
What do you mean, not when I'm alive?
You're not that old. You're old, but you're not that old. You want to know what somebody said to me today?
What did they say to you, Grump?
He didn't actually say it to me. He was having a conversation with me and my buddy's son X, and he was talking about how he went to baseball games with his priest, and the priest would start talking shit and stuff like that. Yeah, the priest. I mean, he's a really old guy, like 60s, 70. And I'm like, holy shit. I said, can you just say that out loud one more time? And he's like, uh-oh, I realized. And he looked at me. He probably looked at how beautiful I looked, did not realize I was in that age range. But he's like, oh, shit, I'm sorry, man.
That age range, you're in the 90s to 100s.
I just look really good. That's what it is. Probably thought I was like 30 or something, 32.
And let's talk about our last little baseball bit here, wrapping up the topic for today. Did you guys happen to see there was a little bit of a scuffle on the baseball diamond between Tim Anderson and Jose Ramirez? Did you guys happen to see that?
Yes.
Grumpy, how about you? Did you happen to see that this weekend?
I did not. I sent it to you, but I wanted to watch it on the show for the first time. They did look like they looked like they were squaring up a little bit. Like they actually look like better fighters than what's his name?
Clip.
Yeah.
Roll clip.
We'll show you the clip here. Okay.
Oscar's throw is not in time.
He just missed him at second base. This is another rocket of a throw, and now,
oh boy!
Now,
oh my goodness! Here come the benches. Off we go.
Holy.
It started with Anderson. Ramirez.
Oh, he's being hit.
Being taken.
No, he didn't.
And everybody's spilling out here in Cleveland.
Hopefully, this is the full clip.
I don't understand what really started it.
They come running out of the bullpen.
Tim Anderson apparently
Which is a bit
really
late, but they're adding some support to the effort.
Ramirez, and he got pissed off.
And that was one of the few that you actually saw coming to blows. You don't see that too often. And Timmy is still hot about this.
It's not
what happened with that tough tag. He was unhappy about it, obviously. They get into a little bit of a verbal disagreement. Let me put it to you that way.
Look at the umpire. You almost think it was like a Jerry Springer show. Ding ding, and then he just backed off and he put on his striped shirt. He's like, okay, let's ref it. He didn't try to break him up. He backed off.
He said, "Hey, I got to mess up calls for tomorrow's game. I got to be available."
I don't know what he's complaining about.
You didn't see what happened also at the end when they're walking Tim Anderson off the field. His legs look like jelly. He can't even stand on his own.
I'll show you that in a second.
Look at this guy. Look at the umpire. He's like, okay,
He's like, I don't get paid enough for this shit.
And I just, okay. Look at him. He's starting to rectify.
He's a spectator.
Clean fight.
I'm glad that this was filmed in widescreen.
Look at the fucking punches there. Like,
well, they're not professional fighters.
Oh!
He hit him with this part of his hand.
Okay, but
he just caught him in the chin like that.
The thing is, his head shook and his brain rattled in his skull, and he got knocked out.
A little bit of sweet chin music, Ruby.
If you connect on the chin, you can knock somebody. You can slap somebody on the chin and knock him out.
Okay, he was falling back. The other guy's falling back. He went.
Pull up the other clip, TJ, when he's walking off the field because you can see him. His legs look like jelly as he's trying to walk.
He had his hands up. He had his hands up. Then he lost his technique.
You missed this one.
Like this. See that again? Oh, what the hell?
Oh!
He didn't hardly touch him. It's almost like he hit him with his fingers.
Tim Anderson has a glass jaw.
That's right. He's got a glass jaw. He's like, come on, let's go. First of all, he needed to keep that left up.
Think about this. Look at how many guys are. You've got the pitcher over there holding Jose Ramirez back, and Tim Anderson still can't win a fight when this guy's got pretty much a 2-on-1.
He just he barely touches him. He barely touched him.
Let's watch this in super slow-mo, Grumpy.
Look at this.
He did hit him.
Touches him.
Real timber.
I picked a better punch than that today.
Stars.
Look at there's a referee. That's the best part. Ding ding. Woo. See, he's dropping his guard. Tim Anderson, man, he needs to learn.
Tim Anderson, look at this.
He's got to keep that.
How did he miss?
Got to protect from. You got to protect from getting taken like a couple of fingers to the face.
At least it wasn't as bad as Bryce Harper trying to throw his helmet.
And you got old Jose Ramirez.
Boom! Look at the punch. It's like he's swinging a baseball bat top down. He keeps
falling backwards. Falling backwards.
He doesn't even move his arm. His elbow stays completely locked out. Look at this. Boom!
And like Ramirez looked like he was doing Joe Frazier, just bobbing and weaving in there.
He uses his arm like a baseball bat. Look at this shit. He just straightens it out and goes, boom!
Look at his hand.
Boom!
It's barely. I mean, he hits him like this. He's got no power on. He's falling backwards. I can hit myself harder than that. Oh my God, Tim Anderson has a shitty year at the plate, and even worse now. I don't know what's worse: his performance at bat this year or that fight. Oh, terrible.
Now, X, you said that he was having a tough time walking off the field or diving.
There's a longer clip of it where they have the teammates trying to carry him off the field, and his legs are just like jelly. He can't stand up.
Terrible.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to find a good one here. There's a lot.
Well, I don't know. We're seeing nothing.
Grumpy, did you not hear? I said I'm trying to find a good one here.
Seconds. Grumpy, I'm just gonna keep pointing at this every time you need it.
Okay, I do find a few. I hope that the one I'm going to show is going to give us the full detail, but of course they're kind of shortened. But he was struggling walking. Let's see here. This one. Is this one you're talking about, X?
Play it, and I'll tell you.
And this is Tim Anderson.
I'm all right. It's like I'm all right.
Yes. Yeah,
he's on a wobbly leg streak.
To say he wasn't knocked out is absolute BS. He absolutely got knocked out.
They didn't sell that fight there, Grumpy.
Up on his own.
He actually looks like he's drunk. That's how he's been batting this year.
That's usually what happens when you get knocked out.
Take a look, see at this one.
Tim off the ground and make sure that even though Tim is trying to get out of the grasp of Andrew Wan, that he can't. And there is Andrew Vaughn.
He's picking him up and manhandling him real quick. All right, you're done here,
He's
buddy.
like, I'm good. I can go out there and fight again. And they're saying, nah, we don't need to see you get your ass kicked twice in one game.
Oh, wow.
Carrying my drunk ass homie from the bar.
There you go.
God. Oh, there you go. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's look at some comments here. Tony Cheese, grumpy old man.
I've been looking forward to Grump's reaction to this. To what? I have no idea.
Let's put this up here. Oh my God. Joseph tweeted us saying, at this point, oh my God, Stanton looks slower than Vogelback.
Ow!
Damn.
Yikes.
Holy cow.
Yikes. I'd have to agree. Holy shit is right. All righty, let's continue on here with comments. John Boy retweeted it, by the way. That's how I saw it, says Tony Cheese. John Boy Media. Here you go. Andrew L. Grumpy.
It's not a hustle problem. You just can't run anymore. Oh, you know what? If that's how you run, retire.
Yeah.
He's dogging it. He's absolutely dogging it.
Big Poppy, even at the end of his career, could still run quicker than that.
Now,
One-legged Willie ran faster than that.
Babe Ruth ran faster than that. Now, Tony Cheese sent us a
You know
meme.
who didn't run faster than that? Show you.
You're right.
I have seen this, and I have some questions. This is very reminiscent of the story that we've told on this show before, where Son X is mowing the lawn, and a certain family member, notably TJ, was unhappy with how he was mowing the lawn and proceeded to start banging him upside the head, smacking his head into the side of the house.
I was pushing his shoulder into the wall, into the siding of the house.
No, you had him and you were jackknifing him into the house.
I was pushing him against the wall, to be fair.
He looked like Rey Mysterio when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall threw him like a lawn dart into the side of a trailer on WCW all those many years ago. Poor little Son X bent up like a freaking accordion.
If you look at Son X in this picture, is him mowing the lawn. He's got the Oreos that he's eating.
Well, no, it's the icing. It's the icing that's on me. That's what it is. It's going into my mouth. The icing, and then there's the Oreo carcasses that TJ had finished off on the ground.
Oreo husks.
Yep.
Now,
who's that? Who's that in the background?
That's what I wanted to know. What's that in the background over there?
I'm not sure who that is in the background.
I don't know who that is either.
But it's somebody. I don't know who it is. Oh, it's Fabio.
Fabio. Okay.
That's Grumpy in the background. Coming to my rescue.
That's not Grumpy. Drew L. Grumpy old man.
Drew says, I don't know why Grumpy is complaining about his fantasy team. He's like 13-2. Well, I'm going to win this week too.
To bitch about.
Here's another week for victory.
Mario says, good evening, guys. What's up, Mario? How are you, man? Tony Cheese said, Drew, I'm so happy you're okay. I was worried about you. I thought my memes might have intimidated you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's fired.
Mario said, there is a nitbitty.
Nobody.
There is nobody. Oh, okay, Grumpy. It was a typo. All right, come on.
Who's nibbity? There is
You know
nibbity.
what it was. That's what I was like.
Nibbity? Really?
Nibbity.
The only okay. The way you read freaking comments and add and subtract letters, and this is the one word that you read correctly is nibbity. That's not even a word.
Nibbity.
Maybe that's why you're X. You were not on the show on the Islanders Never Say Die podcast where somebody put a big long comment with no spaces in between words. TJ read it flawlessly. That's serial killer shit.
Yeah.
I'll say the one thing when TJ said nibbity, all I could think of was from the commercial Libbity Bibbity. That's it.
Bibbity bibbity.
Hibbity. Here we go. That's what I was thinking. But there is nobody that can convince me that Rapinoe missed that penalty shot on purpose. Who smiles after missing a penalty shot on a life and death shootout? Yeah, she did smile. You're like,
she's a loser. I'm so glad the United States women were eliminated. They were unlikable. They've been insufferable for years now. Insufferable. They're not complaining about this. They're complaining about that. I'm glad they lost. The only thing that would have been better if Megan Rapinoe would kick the ball in her own net. I hate her.
I couldn't care less.
I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
That is Grumpy.
Tell him, Joe. Tell him.
I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
I talked about I was looking forward to when they were going to get eliminated. It was obvious they weren't going anywhere. And I'm just so happy that they lost.
Yep.
I'll say this. I I really don't. Here's the thing: the Swedish keeper played well today. How the hell, when you have three, think about it. There's 5, and just when it goes to PKs, there are 5 kicks. Each team gets 5. Just imagine it's just like shootout in the NHL. 5 shooters have a chance of going.
Well, in the NHL, it's 3, but hey, who's complaining?
Okay, gotcha. 3. Imagine it's the NHL shootout, except 5 people shoot, and whoever gets the most in that 5 kick attempt is going to be who wins. The U.S. women's team had 3 goals on 3 shot attempts, and Sweden had 2 goals on 3 shot attempts. Rapinoe was going up, and if she fucking hit that kick, they were in the driver's seat. She misses the net. She smiles. Oh, whatever. The Swedish girl after that gets her shot blocked, and it's a save. So you literally had 1 shooter left for Team USA, and Sweden had to go ahead and hit 2 shots. And the United States women's team just couldn't do it.
All you need to know about the difference between the men's game and the women's game is that in the men's game, it's a shock if someone misses. And in the women's game, it's a shock if someone scores.
No, it's
that
not.
Is the difference. That
It's
absolutely
really-
is the difference. Think about it. That net is huge. You can't even put it on net. I'm sorry. Or the goalie makes save because they can't kick the ball as well as the men. They don't have the pace. They can't put it top corner. They can't do it. And the goaltenders suck. They could just stand there and most of the ball's going to hit them.
Well, what I was about to say is this. The 3 misses, the United States women's team had 3 misses, 3 shot attempts that didn't hit the net.
What a shock.
I mean, like, you got to put the ball on net. You talk about the slimmest of margins, too. I thought the keeper saved that for the United States women's team, and it wound up going in by the goal line technology by like a freaking fraction of a hair. I was just like, holy shit. Now, here's the thing. We've seen the goal line technology be wrong before.
Yep.
So who the fuck knows if that was right or wrong? I don't know. It's the worst finish that the women's national team's ever had in the World Cup. They got eliminated in the round of 16. It's the first time they've been shut out in back-to-back games. Long story short, we talked about this on Thursday's episode. The team was fucking celebrating a draw against Portugal, whoever the hell they played. They were celebrating that they drew the match. Oh, we advanced to the round of 16. The expectation for your team is to win an effing World Cup. You have been year in, year out, one of the best teams, a perennial powerhouse, and you celebrate just advancing past the group stage. You don't have the right mindset to be successful if that's the case.
I mean, and they also talked with all the fans in the stands after tying that game against Portugal and advancing, which took them about 45 seconds.
They put out an article as well. How much is the coach to blame for the United States loss?
He's going to lose his job. The players suck, but he's going to lose his job.
We talked about that beforehand.
Yep.
This guy is going to get blamed.
Mm-hmm.
Is he rightfully or deservingly to get blamed? I don't know. Haven't watched enough women's team, national team games over the entirety of the last 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, however long he's been there. But yes, he will absolutely be canned.
There have been problems with that team in recent years where you have the activist part of the team and people who just want to play soccer, and it's caused a division. It absolutely has. And I think you're just seeing the culmination of that right now. You're just seeing it.
Drew L says here, the funny thing is, despite the boneheaded level of hustle from Stanton, somehow the Yankees still won the game.
That's probably the last game they won, too.
Mario says, Yankee boy, critical. Alexander says here, hey guys, I just got in. Did you guys talk about the stupid trade by the oh my gosh. See, the problem is, Alexander, anytime Phil's Facts tweets anything, just know it's wrong. Anything that he tweets is wrong.
He's batting 1,000. He's wrong every time.
He is the leader. He is one of the leaders of the Church of Violentology. He
The Lamanites.
is a Lamanite. He is a level 1 Lamanite. Whatever the highest level Lamanite you can get right under Lou Lamoriello, Phil's Fiction is that.
He's level 10.
Phil's
Okay,
Fiction.
level 10.
Change the name to Phil's Fiction.
Yeah,
Well,
sometimes you just gotta let him know.
Okay, first of all, we didn't initiate the name Phil's Fiction. That was Andy Francis going way back. And his thing, for the uninitiated, we love Phil. Phil's good people. He really is. But he just need to rile up the fan base. Now he's one of those guys who must be pining for a job with the Islanders now.
Yes.
That's what he is. Just like all the other bootlicking weasels in the Islanders media cartel, these are the type of guys that just sucking at the teat of Lou, hoping that maybe, just maybe, we can get a spot with the Islanders.
Jesus Christ, Crump. Now, Tony Chi says, was Tua Tagovailoa traded to the Penguins?
Oh.
Now, that's a good segue, though, to talk about Alexander. Now, I will say this. I thought the Penguins came out the clear victors of this trade.
It was a great trade for them. They wound up clearing all of Ron Hextall's mistakes of the last couple of years. Jeff Petrie, Casey DeSmith, he was not needed. Michael Granlund, Jan Ruda. These guys were all making money. They cleared up. They brought in Karlsson, had 100 points, won his third Norris Trophy this year. And they wound up getting rid of Granlund, Ruda, DeSmith, and Petrie. And they wound up gaining $3 million worth of cap space. Go figure. I mean, this was a great move for Pittsburgh.
Pitlick also is a bottom six guy, is 26 years old, and has looked like he's a consistent bottom sixer in the NHL.
If he was on the Islanders, he'd be probably our first line left wing.
They would be celebrating him like as if we had signed, I don't know, maybe that other guy,
Julian Gauthier.
We'd be celebrating Pierre Engvall all offseason if this guy, Rem Pitlick, was traded to the Islanders, how he was going to be the next greatest thing on the Islanders franchise. The Lamanites in the Church of Islandology and the Islandologists are an issue to the fan base. They're an issue to the fan base. They are leading the fans astray, and they must be stopped. The Islandologists and the Lamanites are the number one threat to the New York Islanders fan base.
All I'm going to say is listen to my prediction before the season starts. It's always right. Listen to the Lamanites. They're always, and I mean freaking always, wrong. The Islanders, with this trade by Pittsburgh, the Islanders have already been eliminated from the playoffs for the 2023-2024 season. It's over. You're just playing for draft picks now. Not happening. Pittsburgh's better than you. End of sentence, end of story. Pittsburgh is better than the New York Islanders.
I will say this. I think Pittsburgh is better than the Islanders with this trade. What they did, they brought in Erik Karlsson to their team. We talked about it. And I'll let X chime in here too. Erik Karlsson's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You win 3 Norris trophies. You're probably going to go down as a defenseman that's probably top 5 or top 10 in the history of the sport regarding most points for a defenseman. You know, does he lack on the defensive side of the puck? Sure, he does. But so does every other modern NHL defenseman at the way the game is played. So Karlsson winning 3, the best, coming off of just winning the Norris Trophy for the best defenseman in the NHL last year.
One of the worst teams in the league.
Yes, on the worst team in the NHL, or one of the worst teams in the NHL, this defenseman was labeled the best defenseman in the NHL. They pick up a solid bottom sixer and Rem Pitlick, and essentially they trade away their 2024 first-round pick, which is a top 10 protected pick. So if everything goes to shit, Pittsburgh still has their first-round pick guaranteed, right? It's top 10 protected. They get rid of Mikael Granlund, who did not work there and was not a good fit for them as a bottom 6 player.
He's done.
He didn't work out there with a huge cap hit. Jan Ruta, he's going off of their
32 years old, makes too much money.
Yep. And Jeff Petrie, who had a huge contract. And they got rid of their backup goalie, Casey DeSmith. Don't worry. They already signed a backup goalie, Nedeljkovic, to fill that spot. They weren't going to dress 3 goalies and have 3 goalies on a consistent basis up there at the team.
The biggest loser in this trade is San Jose. Mike Greer should lose his job for him getting virtually nothing for Timo Meier and even less than nothing to move Erik Karlsson. He should lose his job. There's a reason why San Jose sucks. Now, there's a potential for a downside because we're anything if not fair here. Karlsson, is he great defensively? No, he's not. Is he have the risk of being injured? Because he has been injured for the last, not last year, but for the previous 2 or 3 seasons. He's had some injury concerns. He's 33 years old. Could those crop up again? Yep, they could. Sure. But on paper, and that's all we can go on right now, that's a huge upgrade for Pittsburgh. Huge. And what I said, I believe 2 weeks ago, I said if Pittsburgh gets Karlsson, Islanders don't make playoffs. It's just that plain and simple. Anyone who's telling you this is a bad deal for Pittsburgh doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. Absolutely not. Why does it
paying attention?
And why does this deal work for Pittsburgh? Because as everyone knows, my theory is you don't trade for old guys with long-term real. You just don't do it.
Yep.
Pittsburgh, as was Washington, are in different situations because they're superstars, Crosby, Malkin, Letang. They're all in their mid-30s. So it's like, go for it now.
Yep.
It's not like the New York Islanders where our team is old but shitty players. So if we make a deal like this and you give away first-round draft picks, it doesn't make as much sense. Pittsburgh is truly realizes it's now or never for them.
Yeah, that was the one thing. Oh, I was going to say that was the one thing that I liked about the Pittsburgh deal. Like the team's older. They went ahead and acquired probably the best defenseman in the league with that trade. And they actually did something the offseason. They saw how poorly their team played last year, and they decided, hey, we need to change some stuff up.
The goaltender was an issue, but here's the thing. Karlsson he's a play driver. Absolutely is. Is it enough to make Pittsburgh a contender for a Stanley Cup? No, it is not. But they'll certainly make the playoffs now.
I do think this trade for their team, right? We talk about where teams currently are. I think Pittsburgh, just like the Washington Capitals and just like the New York Islanders, are not good enough to win a Stanley Cup. They're not. Pittsburgh and Washington, the most talented core pieces of their team are in their mid to late 30s. They are going after one last hurrah. And both of those teams have won Stanley Cups with their core. They're all going after one last brave and gallant stand trying to win a Stanley Cup. Now, here's the thing with the Islanders. The Islanders maybe have a little bit of a younger core, but the Islanders have old pieces on that team too, just like the Penguins. And the Islanders also are not good enough to win a Stanley Cup. All three of these teams, in my opinion, should be rebuilding.
Yep.
It makes more sense for teams like Pittsburgh and Washington when you have multiple first ballot Hall of Famers littered in your lineup to say, well, in Pittsburgh, we've got Letang, Malkin, and Crosby, who are all first ballot Hall of Famers, and now we add another first ballot Hall of Famer in Erik Karlsson. We have a reason to feel excited. And in Washington, when you have first ballot Hall of Famer Ovechkin, probably Hall of Famer and Nick Backstrom, and maybe Hall of Famer and John Carlson, it makes sense to continue to add because the players are all in their mid to late 30s, and you have 1 year more, I think, legitimately, where you could say, if we get lucky, we can make a playoff run.
I look at it this way. The difference between, and here's the thing, Pittsburgh got younger as well.
Yeah.
They got younger.
Erik Karlsson was 33, Petrie is 35, and Pitlick is 26, and Grunland's like 32 or 33. And they got younger at every position.
Yes, and Karlsson's 33. They gave up a first round and a second rounder.
Yep.
And they cleared up all their cap problems, have $3 million in cap space. Great deal. But regardless of what you think about Kyle Dubas, that's a great deal for him. It really is. But like I said, when you're talking about Pittsburgh and Washington, more so Pittsburgh, you're talking about guys who've won Stanley Cups. Ovechkin, Washington's won a Stanley Cup with a lot of that core. What have the Islanders won with their aged core? Nothing. Have they won a Stanley Cup? Nope. No. Have they won an Eastern Conference? Nope. Have they even won a division title? Nope. You know what they win? They win the booby prize by having to play Carolina and get the shit kicked out of them every year.
Hey, they win best barbecue for the cul-de-sac crew.
Very true. Led by Josh Bailey, who no longer plays there. He does all the shopping now, does all the cooking, all the cucking. That's him.
All the cooking and all the cucking. Joseph C. said the Penguins have a small window left. They have to go for big acquisitions. Karlsson won't fix their defense and goaltending, though. Yep, exactly. The only thing they're hoping for with Karlsson is now we control the puck more in the offensive zone. Mm-hmm. With more offensive control and offensive possession, we're going to see increased production out of Crosby and Malkin. And then maybe we can go ahead. We don't have to worry about our goalies facing a lot of shots. And maybe they only just have to make a few big saves a game. And we can win via the Colorado Avalanche model to where our defense isn't great. Our goaltending is not great. But with great offense and puck possession, we maybe have a chance to win.
And Jake Gensel is going to be out for at least 12 weeks because they decided to have surgery for him, for the problem that was bothering him. So he'll miss a little bit of maybe the first month of the regular season. So this is a big pickup for them. I love this deal for Pittsburgh. Love it.
Yep.
Is it going to help them 2 to 3 years down the line? Nope. They're going to be in full rebuild by then. But they're realizing they have a legitimate core. The difference between, once again, Pittsburgh and the Islanders, they have a legitimate core of their older players. The Islanders' older players just suck. That's the problem with the Islanders' older players.
Drew L. Grumpy.
If only we still sometimes ran society like the 70s nowadays. If you're a part of the elite, you can get away with pretty much everything. It's always been like that.
Yep.
Always.
Did Reggie Jackson get along with anyone? Reminds me of Albert Bell and Barry Bonds, who everybody hated.
I'm a Reggie Jackson apologist. Admittedly, a super fan of Reggie Jackson. That said, he's had problems, and he's a me guy. He is. But like I said, I used to love him the way he swung that bat from the left-hand side of the plate with those white shoes, and love Reggie Jackson. But, yeah, he's absolutely a me guy.
He'd swing so hard he was taking a knee at bat. The whole leg would be on the ground.
I loved him.
Oh, hold on. We talked about Tony Cheese in his last, when he had that picture of him and his baby up there, who he was sending through child abuse. He put an Islanders bib on him. He was putting a Jets shirt on him. He was getting ready to set his child up for many, many years of disappointment. Now, Alexander is following in a close second, if not first. The baby has got the Miami Dolphins gear on already, Grumpy.
That baby's cute, though. Isn't he cute?
I think so. Sure. Absolutely.
Super cute.
Just picking on you, of course, Alexander. But James F says, "Hey, what's up? How are you?" Alexander says, "Joseph, that's why it's a bad trade by Pittsburgh."
It's a great trade by Pitt. It's a great trade by Pittsburgh.
I think
they stole Karlsson. They didn't. San Jose probably could have done better in what they got, but they didn't want to kick in a whole lot of money. So for 4 years, they're paying like 87. Pittsburgh's paying like 87% of his salary.
You heard from a lot of Lamanites. Oh, how is he going to be? I heard from
the head Lamanite.
The head Lamanite.
The leader of the Lamanites, the laundry queen himself.
I heard from him. I said, Pittsburgh Penguins are going to get Erik Karlsson. How was Kyle Dubas going to make sure to fit him under the cap? They don't have any cap space to make that happen.
He's able to move veterans. You know what they didn't have to give up? They didn't have to give up 7 number 1s, 8 number 2s for somebody to eat a contract. They wound up dumping all their crappy contracts on him as well, and got the best player in the deal for a protected first and a second.
They didn't have to pay teams to take their players. What?
No, it's because their players are good. Our players suck.
They don't sign shitty players to long-term deals like we do.
Pierre Engvall.
Joseph C said, he's still going to put up a point per game or more, but yeah, it doesn't help their bigger issues. See, I think they're trying to take the Colorado approach. Now, I will say this: they're a better team than they were last year already.
Yep.
I think they're going to have more offensive zone possession. I think they're going to have more teams in the East hemmed in their own zone. There's been a lot of good players who have moved to the Eastern Conference. The head Lamanite, Grumpy, was talking about, there's no good teams in the NHL this year. That's why the Islanders are going to be good. That's why the Islanders are going to excel.
Okay, guess what? The Islanders are like, I always say the Islanders are right at the top of the shit squad, of the suck squad, because they're not a good enough team to do anything. They're like a borderline, marginal playoff team. Now they're not. They're not this year. Sorry. I love the Islanders, but that's just the way it is.
Show some family pictures to keep the energy and positivity up. There it is. Thanks there, Tony Cheese. James F says here, Little League World Series starts today.
You want to know something? I think those little leaguers could give the softball people a run for their money.
I think that they run faster around the bases than Giancarlo Stanton does too.
Yeah, they do play on a similar size field.
They do. Let me tell you something. Those 12-year-olds could give those College World Series lasses a run for their money.
Joseph C said, listen to that video. Never fuck with a guy who has dreads. Dan the Fan Man 44 says, it looks like he reached out for a hand up. He just smashed him right in the face, man. I tell you, it wasn't even like the.
He hit him like this. He hit him with like this.
He caught him on the jaw down here.
He did. He catch him. Boom. If you look at all those knockouts, it's always you catch him in the bottom part
power
of
in
the
that
jaw.
punch. It's like, ooh.
You just haven't have enough to twist somebody's head like that and jar their brain. That's
I'm
it.
stunned that he fell down from that. Stunned.
He was knocked out. You saw him walking off the field. He was knocked out.
Stunned.
Tony Chi says, I don't even dislike Tua. Joel said, I hate Tim Anderson. Now Tim Anderson, Jose Ramirez was like, he's like, Tim Anderson had this coming to him. He does this. He tags people hard when they come around the bases. Fuck him. He was not happy at all. And he was happy he got to beat the living piss out of Tim Anderson. But Joel said, I hate Tim Anderson. I'm so happy Ramirez socked his ass. So much for all of your old tweets talking about fighting and how tough you are, Timmy. Yeah, that's right. He had a whole bunch of those tweets that he wanted having to go back and delete because, man, oh, man, does he look like a fool after he got his ass knocked the fuck out.
Do you think that this is going to hurt? Like, like when an MMA fighter gets knocked out for the first time, that's it. Their careers are pretty much over. That level of invincibility is gone. So maybe that's what's going to happen with old Timmy Anderson. I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say my concern is if he decides to go into the professional boxing route and fight Jake Paul in another celebrity boxing match, is his record already going to be 0-1?
Oh, I don't know.
Now, here's the thing. Like, I don't want to get into the fucking Jake Paul bullshit. I'll tell you this much because
didn't you already talk about that enough?
I don't know. I just wish you would. You know what? I wouldn't mind if he fought Tyson Fury.
Okay, first off, Tyson Fury's like 5 times the size of him.
Jake Paul fights guys who are a lot smaller than him, and always lighter than him. These guys are always fighting weight classes up.
No, they're not. It's a weight class thing. He might be taller, but it's a weight thing.
Okay, there's no way in hell. Okay, Nate Diaz is 177, I believe, is what he.
Okay, Tyson Fury is 290. He's a heavyweight.
Jake Paul's not
175 is light heavyweight. That's 175.
He's not no one. Okay, Jake Paul is not no 177.
How much is he?
170 is Nate Diaz.
Yeah, he might have been 177 on Fight Time, but when they did the weigh-in, what was he? So
Jake Paul's listed at 185, 184. Okay, Nate Diaz was 184.9 for that fight, and Jake Paul came in at 185.
Well, there you go. It's a weight class. They're always weight classes, TJ.
Yeah. You're not going to have people who weigh 30 pounds more fighting somebody else.
I'm ready for Tyson Fury to strap it up and face off against Jake Paul. Majority get in there, mix it up.
Majority of places wouldn't have somebody twice the size of them fighting, but in the backyard, there's no rules.
Street beefs.
I'm talking about for us.
We
fight up 2 or 3 weight classes.
Oh, it was more than 2 or 3. It was more than 2 or 3, X.
I was triple featherweight, and you were like quadruple heavy.
I think
triple at that time, featherweight. The fuck is that?
I think at that time, TJ probably outweighed you by 120, 130 pounds.
Fair fight.
He was twice your body weight.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, when that happened, TJ, you were probably what? 220? Maybe 225, and X was what, like 110 tops? Maybe even he was probably 98 pounds is what he was.
Sounds like X needed to hit the gym a little more back then.
Oh,
doesn't sound like a me problem. That sounds like a him problem.
So you think beating up your younger
it sounded like an Oreo problem. I didn't even because TJ was always sucking it down.
Not that time.
That's right.
I should have smacked you into that siding of the house a lot harder.
I bumped up to 99 pounds after that.
That's coming by Alexander says, looks like a car fight or a cat fight, Alexander says here. Drew said, somebody did like a YouTube short on the fight analysis. Oh, God. The Tim Anderson. Oh, my God.
We're not showing that.
Oh, Dan says he's got the Tua wobble. My bad. No! Tim Anderson had a lot of back pain after that fight.
Oh my God.
Oh, my back.
That's inappropriate.
Okay, I'll pull that up here in a second, Drew. Different minds, grumpy old man.
Is this the worst Yankees team of the past 10 years? Sure. Why not? They're terrible.
If Tim Anderson would have taken jiu-jitsu classes, he would have been all right.
Like Tua. You imagine if Tua took a slap like that? I mean,
you'd have to retire.
6 months on the shelf.
Oh my
What,
God.
you know what Bill Parcells used to say? Can't make the club sitting in the tub.
True.
Oh, there it is. Okay, Drew sent us a few memes here.
With a 4-man rush, clean pocket. Wilson takes off.
Bruh.
Obvious. Get him, kid. Oh
shit!
I remember watching that Shaq clip.
I forgot Shaq.
All right, I'm going to say Kenny was concerned initially about Shaq.
Oh yeah,
he was.
A big guy like that falling down to the ground, I'd be a little concerned too.
I mean, you think they'd break the studio?
You got knocked the fuck out.
That's great.
That's the funniest thing Chris Tucker ever did right there.
Matter. I'm 0-5. What? I'm 0-5. Okay, Dad. I'm hungry. Well, we're not eating tonight, son. I get paid by the win.
How the fuck are you 0-5?
All my running backs got hurt. Penny, Williams, Mitchell. I mean, the fantasy gods are killing me right now.
I'm getting bullied at school because you keep starting Kyle Pitts.
Pitts is the highest drafted tight end in NFL history.
What's he do, Dad? I'm getting shoved into a locker because his production sucks.
What happened to you? We used to live in a mansion in Beverly Hills.
And now we're in a mobile home in Saskatchewan.
You don't think I realized that? I won back-to-back championships in 16-17. Le'Veon Bell was my bell cap.
Dad, are you going to finish in last place?
Don't say that, son. What happens if you finish last, Ron? Punishment. Kicked out of the league. Oh, my God. We would be living on the streets, Ron. Dad, you got to trade Josh Allen. I'm not trading Josh Allen. He's a unicorn.
You need a running back.
My backup is Baker Mayfield, son. What do you want me to do?
We are so screwed.
You are the worst dad ever. You better fix this, Ron.
Dad, I'm still hungry.
Piece of shit.
Fantasy football's back around.
I wonder why that particular clip came about, X. Why do you think?
That's how TJ runs his team.
Oh, that's not the reason. TJ knows the reason. Go ahead, Hotshot. I see that stupid.
I don't know why that came around. Drew just sent it to us.
I seen that stupid empty grin on TJ's face, and he knows exactly why it was pulled up.
It's fantasy football season's back around, man.
Yeah, sure. TJ, did you comb your hair today? This is a first.
Well, I always comb my hair.
Maybe just
One of the Curtis says, no Islanders Never Say Die podcast the other night. Y'all are clowns. Why did we have no Islanders Never Say Die podcast, Grumpy? Why don't you tell them, Grump?
I was not feeling well last night. I was not feeling well.
Grumpy's taking a little nippy nap.
No, I'm not. Am I not under the weather?
He was under the weather.
Thank you.
Oh, bullshit.
I love how me and Grumpy can never feel bad. But
yeah, TJ just freaking bails anytime he wants.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Took a nap for 8 hours today.
Joseph C. Grumpy.
Did you watch SummerSlam, Grump? I don't want to spoil it, but it was a really good show. I did watch it, and no, it's not, Joseph.
But Curtis said, Son X, are you interested in covering Street League skateboarding?
I've never seen Street League skateboarding.
There is no such thing. There is no Street League skateboarding.
They do have like professional skateboarding though.
Okay,
they do.
Tony Cheese says it was Fabio. That's right. Michael L says, look where the I and O on the Corey keyboard. I don't know what the hell that means, Michael. Drew L said TJ probably has some serial killer farts. I think his nickname should be Jack the Ripper.
Oh, very good.
There we go.
Actually, his nickname used to be Lord Boomer.
Joseph C. Grumpy.
TJ is Raymond Babbitt with his ability to read non-space paragraphs. Grumpy and Son X know the reference. It's true.
Yep.
You and TJ?
Is Raymond Babbitt? He's Rayman, right?
He is. You knew it because of the voice I did.
No, I did not. I watched Rayman once.
Kmart, Cincinnati.
Tony Cheese says, all that ramen and hot
cards. Just count the cards.
What's up, Helen Yella? Yo, yo. Guggen says, if the Islanders players drink more Gatorade this year, will they skate faster, shoot the puck more precisely? Are they going to be better, Grumpy, if they drink more Gatorade?
Nothing can help them at this stage.
Not even steroids, Grump?
I feel like, you know what I feel like? I feel like Princess Leia, when she put the first little, the first message in the first Star Wars, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. There is no hope. The Empire has crushed the rebellion. We are done. Right now, we are fighting the rebellion. We are the rebels fighting the Lamanites who think they're good enough, but they are doomed. Who is going to be our Luke Skywalker to save us from Lou Lamoriello? Who is it going to be? Is it going to be DJ and the grumpy old man? Hopefully we can hit that little 2 meters, just like hitting a whop rat back home. Don't know what it's going to be like, though. Got to beat down the Lamanites. Don't let them suck you in.
Freaking the Lamanites. Taking on the Lamanites, Grump. Pie noodles or spaghetti, says Gungu.
Spaghetti.
I like Thai noodles.
You'll eat anything. You'll eat Thai noodles with spaghetti. Who the hell are you kidding?
Sure. Technically, wouldn't that mean that Phil is batting 0 instead of batting 1,000?
No, he's wrong every time. Batting 1,000, he's wrong every time. It's like he's 1 for 1 for being wrong. 100 for 100 being wrong. He's always wrong. Let him whip up some fantastical stat that don't mean shit, and then I call him on it, and it's like, no, that's not true. I'm like, yeah, look at it again. Oh, okay. So we'll just go on to some new ridiculous stat that means absolutely nothing. Phil does nothing but look at these stats. Those with, like I said, too much estrogen in the Phil house. Too much fiction running around in there.
Goon Grumpy.
Grumpy, when was the last time you did the twist? Can you show us? I can, but I choose not to.
Twist and shout. Alexander said, explain to me like a 2-year-old how the trade makes sense for Pittsburgh, because that doesn't fix their defense. It doesn't fix their goaltending. Here's the thing. Their goaltender, Tristan Jarry, played well before the injury last year. I don't think Tristan Jarry is the answer, just like I don't think other players are not the answer. They're hoping Erik Karlsson is going to help them control the puck more in the offensive zone. The more puck possession they have, the less chances that other teams can create, and will have less chances to shoot on Tristan Jarry. So ideally, when you've got a better defenseman who can control the puck with more outlet passes, you can control more of the possession. When you have more of the possession, means less opportunities go the other way. That's what they were trying to do. That's how Colorado won their Stanley Cup 2 years ago. And I think that's what they're trying to do for Pittsburgh. Do I think it's going to work? No. But that's what they're trying to do. I think it's going to help their team. Their team took a step forward. But I still don't think that's a team that can win a Stanley Cup. But their team is definitely better today than they were yesterday.
Okay. Does it make their defense better defensively? I think you can have a little bit of addition by subtraction there. You have, you got to remember they signed Ryan Graves. Oh, that's a terrible contract for Ryan Graves. Ryan Graves is not a horrible player. Okay. Jeff Petrie was a traffic cone out there this year. He was finished.
35 years old, couldn't skate anymore.
Jan Ruda was also on the downside. He was good when he was in Tampa. He doesn't have much left. They got Chris Letang to go with Karlsson, Graves, Oliver Pierre-Joseph, Pierre-Oliver Joseph, and Marcus Peterson. Those guys are going to play. Those guys are absolutely going to play, and they got Ty Smith. They can still make other moves. We don't know. Maybe they have a young guy who's ready to step up. Is their defense, the greatest in the league? No. But you know what? They can create offense. They're puck movers. How many puck movers they have on that offense? 3, maybe 4? How many do the Islanders have? 1.
You mean on the defense?
Yeah, on their defense. 1 guy.
I was about to say, the Penguins have 3, maybe 4 puck movers on the defense, and 3, maybe 4 puck movers who do a good job with outlet passes and do a good job stretching out an opposing team. Now, here's the thing, too. When you have guys, we talk about the reason why the league is headed to the more offensive style defenseman. When your defenseman can make those long stretch passes, it forces the other team to be defensively responsible and to sit a little bit further back. You can't have such a heavy forecheck if a defenseman like Erik Karlsson can pass a puck all the way from the blue line to blue line without an issue. You can't go ahead and say, okay, cool, we can be heavy on the forecheck like that, because you're going to leave yourself exposed to a 3-on-2 going the other way, where you got guys like Malkin, Crosby, and Gensel who have an opportunity on a 3-on-2. They're going to make you pay sometimes. So, I think they help themselves with exits. They help themselves, again, with puck possession, and I think they're going to go ahead and limit the actual chances and opportunities that are coming the other way is what I think they tried to do.
Get the puck out of the zone. That's what it's going to be like. Either Karlsson or Letang skating it, making good headman pass. Here's the thing. Do you think, is Pittsburgh going to win 1-0 games? Probably not. But you know what? Most of the games, particularly in the regular season, are not going to be 1-0. They're going to be 5-4 or 6-5. And you want it to be the team that has more firepower, without a doubt. I like this deal for Pittsburgh.
The Penguins are not better than the Islanders. I disagree. This trade doesn't move the needle.
You're right. I thought they were better than the Islanders before now. Now I'm certain of it.
Malkin
I
is
just
what?
thought it before. Now I'm definitely certain of it.
Malkin, what is Malkin? 35?
I don't know what he
36?
is.
I'll look it up.
Look it up. Crosby, I think, is 36. I think
Malkin's 37. So Crosby's 36.
Okay.
So
Letang's what, 35?
And they have going for them. The only thing they have going for Crosby. How many points do you think Crosby put up last year for being finished? Over a point a game average. Same thing with Malkin. With all the turmoil they had, those guys, when you've got an absolute legend of the game and a first ballot Hall of Famer, they still are successful. Crazy, isn't it?
Think about this. Pittsburgh missed the playoffs by 2 points. Okay. And the players were absolutely involved with the squabbles between the GM and the head coach. Absolutely. The coach was talking with the players. The players are going to upper management. That is not conducive to winning hockey. They fell apart at the end of the year. Just fell apart.
The reason why they lost 3 games to us.
Absolutely. They fell apart and losing to Chicago and Detroit down the stretch and Ottawa. You can't lose to teams like that. They were in playoff position with like 15 games to go and they just fell apart.
Crosby still had 93 points.
Yeah.
When is the last time the Islander had somebody who had over a point a game average? It was Matt Barzal his rookie season. Malkin all had more than a point a game. So did Crosby. Those guys are bona fide legendary players, first ballot Hall of Famers. When you look back, you say, oh, yeah, that's a guy like a Jaromir Jagr or a Mario Lemieux. You look back on them on that same likeness. That's how talented those guys are.
And what does it do for their power play? Now you have 2 guys. Both your units have guys who can run that power play in Karlsson and Letang. Remember, I didn't think he was a fit for Carolina, but I thought for Pittsburgh, watch out. That makes Pittsburgh a playoff team, in my opinion.
Yes, it does. What's up, Frank? He says, hey, what's up, guys? Drew L said, honestly, at this point, it's not even worth trying to talk with Phil. It's not worth the headache. Let him lead the sheep to hell. It's what the suckers at the major corporations do anyway. Oh, God. If he's really doing this to get a job at MSG, it's honestly pathetic and shameless. No, he's not trying to do that. We joke around. And this is coming from somebody who likes Phil, too. Let's not forget the fact that Karlsson has a horrible contract. He renegotiated that contract, didn't he?
No, but they have to pay what is it, $11 million a year?
Yeah.
They're only paying 87% of that salary.
Okay, yeah. So the San Jose Sharks retained some of the cap hit.
13%. So whatever it is, 9 something. That's okay.
You know what?
4 more years.
$9 million for the guy who just won the best defenseman in the NHL. Would you take a guy like Connor? I don't want to liken them, but right, Connor McDavid won the best forward in the NHL, the most talented player. Would you say he's worth $9 million a year?
For Islander fans, if the trade was made by the Islanders, y'all be gushing about it.
Yes.
As I would too, because he brings exactly what the Islanders lack. A puck-moving defenseman who can lead your power play. It makes the power play better with him out there. That's the difference that he brings to Pittsburgh now, which you don't have. Islanders don't have that. Sorry, don't have it.
I'm confused by this trade.
He's probably confused because
traded goalie earlier.
He's used to watching Islander trades where you have to give up assets to move somebody. What do you mean you got a player for nothing and you gave up all your contracts? How'd that happen?
Again, that Carolina series was much closer than you guys think.
Carolina's missing 3 of their top 6 forwards and their starting goaltender. They still won in 6 games. They should have won in 5. The Hurricanes should have won in 5.
Yes.
It wasn't close. They were never beating Carolina. You want to know why? Because they never beat Carolina. 16-4 in the last 20 games against Carolina. They're not good enough to beat Carolina. Too tough, too fast, too strong, too good. Sorry.
Oh, man. Uh-oh. Alexander said, Grumpy, I sent you a video message. Okay, we'll pull that up in a second. Let me get flushed with the comments here. Drew L., grumpy old man.
Imagine after that Jose Ramirez punch, Tim Anderson has a similar downfall to Ronda Rousey. I mean, I think Ronda Rousey still kick his ass.
Ronda Rousey's finished. Maybe Jake Paul needs to box Ronda Rousey. Wouldn't that be a great fight? Tony Cheese says, let's all agree that the series with Carolina was closer than we think. What does that change about where we are at? Do we sneak past New Jersey if we win and beat Florida? No and no. And it wasn't closer than what we think. Okay, our team was completely healthy. We had every single player healthy, ready to go.
Carolina didn't. Their goaltender sucked. Antti Ranta sucked in that series. Absolutely sucked. Freddie Anderson comes back one game. That's it. Over. Didn't they shut us out the last game?
I think so. I think they shut us out, or maybe they scored. Maybe we scored a goal. I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
We were not in the same freaking strategy.
And they were missing Smechikov, Pacioretty, and Teravainen. Three of their top
just
six.
A few valuable players.
Three of their top six. If they were healthy, it's a sweep. It should have been 5. Sorokin kept us in game 5. If it wasn't for Sorokin, that's a gentleman's sweep. That's what it is.
What is up, JP? Tony Cheese says Tim Anderson's the new Antonio Brown.
Ooh, I'm not going there yet.
There was a fan fight at the Jake Paul fight. Oh God.
Ooh.
McGregor called out Jake Paul.
McGregor, he's crazy.
You know what? Give Jake Paul maybe 3 years, and then he'll challenge Conor McGregor. McGregor will be like 40 years old at that time period. Jake Paul will be like 29.
Okay. Jake Paul would kill Conor McGregor in a fight.
No, he would not.
Absolutely. He's
Jake Paul would kill Conor McGregor. Are you serious?
Conor McGregor is beefed up a ton.
Okay. How tall is he? 5'8"? What's Jake Paul? How tall is Conor McGregor? What did he weigh when he was fighting? 130?
He was 5'9".
He fluctuated.
5'9", 5'8". No, not 5'8". No,
he's huge, Grumpy. He's the biggest 5'9" in the history recorded of mankind, Grump.
He's fluctuated. I think at one point in time he held like 2 or 3 belts in UFC.
How tall is what's his name? Jake Paul?
He's like 6'1".
I thought he's like 6'3".
No, he's 6'1".
I think Logan, his brother's taller than he is.
Okay, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
6'1", Grump.
Okay, so he's 4 inches taller. What's the reach? Because that's the most important thing. If you can have a jab and reach, guy can't get in on you.
I don't know the reach of
Conor McGregor lost to a 40-something-year-old Floyd freaking Mayweather.
One was a
same
boxer.
Floyd Mayweather that beat his brother Logan Paul. That same one.
Floyd Mayweather. Okay, Floyd Mayweather was like
in an exhibition game, might I add?
He was like in his late. He was like in his early 40s. He would retire.
Logan fought after Conor
McGregor fought him.
What are you talking about, Grump?
What I'm saying is he ain't beating a fighter.
What you're saying is you're wrong.
He's not.
I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see him enter the octagon, baby.
Oh God.
Who? Jake Paul?
Jake Paul, baby. Enter the octagon.
Why would he do that? He'd rather stage these half fights.
Ow!
Make a lot of money.
Make a lot of money off of it.
And put on his YouTube how great he is and all that stupid shit. Talk about a manufactured nothing. The Paul brothers. I will say Logan Paul is an athlete. I'll give him that.
Logan or Jake? Which one?
Logan, the guy in the WWE. He does, and he's a natural heel. He's a natural bad guy. But for me, he's very gymnast. He fits in because he's like a gymnast. They jump, bouncing.
He used to wrestle. They both used to wrestle in high school. And did they go to college or just high school?
They did the Disney Channel, so I don't know if they did that instead of going to college. I don't know.
They did the Disney Channel.
Yeah, they're on Disney Channel.
He's very athletic though. Mm-hmm. He likes to do the trampoline style wrestling.
Like jumping off the ropes and stuff.
Everybody jumping around, bouncing around, nothing that's real. No, it's almost like like they used to have in the circus. They have the people going from the trapeze, hopping back and forth, jumping on the trampoline, doing spins, and that's what it is. That's what wrestling's become for the most part now.
Well, he did not apparently call out Jake Paul. He just called the fight dog shit, which it was.
Okay.
TJ can run the podcast by himself reading comments. James F says here, Guys, I was watching the LIV golf, and I like how the players can wear shorts. But I don't like the music going on as they're playing. I'm confused if they're individuals and teams playing together.
It's kind of like Formula One. So what I've understood from it, if like, let's say you have one guy on your team who finishes at the top, like let's say he wins the tournament and you finish dead last, but you're on the same team, each person gets the same purse. They each get the same prize money.
Not bad.
Yep.
Not bad. Gungun says, Grumpy, how important was the release of the second Boston album to you in 1978?
Super important. So I remember where I was. We were over the Dutney's house. And when that came out, we listened to it over and over. I can see where we were sitting listening to the music. And we listened to that album, gosh, I want to say 5-6 times in one day. That's the way it was back then. Yeah, okay. Why don't you just go play on your phone?
You don't listen to music.
These fucking album things, Grumpy.
You do not listen to music. You cannot comment on shit. You listen to white noise. That's it. Like the serial killer.
I just keep it quiet. What's wrong with keeping it quiet, huh?
Okay, just because most people in the world like music, that makes you the freaking weirdo.
Brandon Gaines, grumpy old man.
Somebody's attacking Brandon. Hey, guys, how do you think the Giants' offensive line will be this year? I'm going to say above average, which is the highest it's been in over a decade. I think they're going to be okay this year, barring injuries, of course. Andrew Thomas has turned it around.
Did you see that Andrew Thomas is the second highest paid offensive tackle right now in the NFL? Fucking nuts. One good year earns him the second most money, slightly behind there. What was it? From used to play for the Laramie Tunsil, the second highest paid tackle behind Laramie Tunsil. And you're like, Andrew Thomas has had one good year, and he's the second highest paid tackle in the NFL. Holy shit.
Okay.
He's paid more than Trent Williams.
Okay. He's also a lot younger than Trent Williams.
Sure.
I mean, this is it's his second contract. So, now, since we're just talking about offensive line, but yes, Brandon, I think that they can be better on the offensive line. Still don't have a quarterback. Brings us to Tristan Wirfs, who was drafted the same year. I sent TJ something. I'm sure he didn't.
Okay, Grumpy, I've got it pulled up. You can talk about it. I don't really care too much about this topic, so I'll let you take the lead.
And here's the thing. Tristan Wirfs was a Pro Bowl right tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, helped protect the greatest of all time and winning a Super Bowl in 2020. And now they want to move him to left tackle. But he has to go see a therapist because he's experiencing anxiety over switching from right tackle to left tackle. Now, TJ, you are a former lineman. I realize that there are subtle differences between one side to the other. Was it enough because you switched from side to side whenever they needed you or there were injuries? Did you consider going to a therapist before you had to make a switch from one side to the other?
No, I didn't. I'll say this too. The shit's changed. Shit in the world has changed since when I used to play, because you know what we used to do when players would be like, oh, I'm not sure, we're playing such a tough opponent, I'm not sure I can do that. Just call them a mental midget. Get out of your fucking head. You're a mental midget. You're going to face adversity in life. You got to go ahead and learn how to adapt to it. But you can't say that stuff anymore these days, I guess, because that's what this is. You're a Pro Bowl caliber right tackle. You're switching to left tackle. You need to go see a therapist about it. Dude, you know what? There's a lot of other things that you're going to face in life that is much tougher than saying, I have to kick step to the right side compared to the left side. I got to flip all the plays around and figure out, hey, am I going to do this on a 74 option, or what's my new assignment going to be? It's real fucking simple. So yeah, I don't know.
I think the therapist thing has more to do not with him just switching from right to left, but with him now. I think it's more so he's intimidated that he's going to mess up and make a mistake is what it is.
His you know what his biggest problem is?
Mental midget.
Tom Brady is not his quarterback. That's the biggest problem they're going to have. He's going to have to protect longer.
If anything, he shouldn't really have any issue with it because the team's going to suck. And regardless of whether he lets everybody buy or not,
maybe it limits the amount of bag he's going to get next year.
I think that's maybe what he's worried about more than anything else. How can this affect my bottom line? What is this going to affect the dollars I get paid?
And he seems like a very nice guy. I thought that was surprising that he had to go to a therapist because of switching sides. I thought it was a little
answering back to the question, which is kind of where I wanted to bring this. What do I think of the Giants' offensive line? All I know is Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas on that line. I don't pay enough attention to the Giants. Last year I didn't. It's a waste of time for me. I mean, just like this year.
Wow.
I was talking with some other individual. It's a waste of time to invest into the Giants.
Why? Why, DJ?
They're doomed for mediocrity.
Why is that?
They don't have a quarterback.
Oh.
Okay. Last year, about anything and everything that could go right for the Giants did. They took a huge step forward. They got a new coach. I realistically expect him to take a little bit of a step back this year. I think the quarterback blows. He's a game manager. Can you make it into the postseason every year with a game manager? Sure. You're just never going to have a chance to win the big thing. Could we maybe win a wild card weekend matchup every year? Sure. Just not going to end result in us winning a Super Bowl. We still have so many problems with that team. And by us determining we're going to sign Daniel Jones to a long-term contract was about the dumbest thing we could have done this offseason. So it's like all of my teams are doing all the stupidest things they could and making the wrong decisions.
Wow.
Just like the Islanders doubling down on suck, the Giants did the same damn thing. Here's the thing. If I'm a Jets fan, this is the first time the Jets have done the right thing in a long time. If I'm a Jets fan, I'm happy. I'm elated about the start of the season. The Giants fan, I'm like, more of the same.
Okay. How about you, X? Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I think the Giants are going to do well. They have Saquon back. Saquon performed really, really well last year. I mean, I think TJ's just very critical of them. Evan Ingram was a big pickup for them this year as well. If he stays healthy,
No, it's Darren Waller.
Oh, sorry, Darren Waller. My bad. Darren Waller was a big pickup for them this year. If he stays healthy, they didn't have that tight end help last year. I mean, I think they're going to do all right this year. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl, but I think they're going to do well.
And don't forget, they also have the Hyatt kid from Tennessee who's running by all the cornerbacks. I don't think he catches any passes, but he's really, really fast.
Yeah, well,
John Marino is better than EK. Who's EK? Erik Karlsson?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Got here another comment. Drew L says, in all seriousness, I hope Rondon keeps pitching the way that he does. Apparently, Hal Steinbrenner and Cashman didn't see eye to eye at the trade deadline.
Cashman, okay. On this show, we've talked about Cashman and Boone absolutely should have been gone after last year.
Yes.
Absolutely. Boone, because he sucks as a manager. I'm sorry. He's a zero. And Cashman, because you know what? He's built the team incorrectly, in my opinion. And you see it. Yes, they're really good in the regular season usually when everybody's humming and Judge is hitting, 60 home runs and Stan's hitting 30 or 40. Everybody's hitting home runs.
Stan's jogging around the base path.
Because he's hitting home runs.
Stroll.
Right. Instead of having to score from second or score from third on a ball off the wall and getting tossed out. But come postseason, when the pitching is better, you don't score as many runs. Good pitching always beats good hitting at the end of the day. You can fatten up during the regular season, but the postseason, something all different together. And that's why that home run or nothing approach does not work. Just does not.
Well, Drew says here, so hopefully that leads to Brian Cashman being fired soon if the Yankees miss the playoffs. The Yankees are probably – you figure the Yankees are going to miss the playoffs, right? If I'm having to go to Vegas, I'm putting the Yankees missing the postseason. Unless teams like Baltimore collapse, Grumpy.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Did you – okay.
Repeat it again, please.
I said I feel like the Yankees are not going to make the postseason, right, Grumpy?
They're absolutely not making the playoffs. Correct.
I know you just weren't listening, but that's fine.
No, you popped up a comment and I started reading it. That's what happened.
I read the comment as well, Grumpy.
All righty, Grumpy. Freedom Fund Adventure.
Hello, friends. Grumpy, you often use the pancake example. That the first one never turns out right. Is that a shot at our boy TJ? My experience is the second one isn't that great either. Beginning of the end of what? Wow. Now
It's definitely the second one because you're ready to get the shit on the plate. You're like, oh shit, I rushed this when it comes out like shit.
No,
the first one comes out perfect.
I think what he's trying to say is the first pancake, being the firstborn, which is TJ, didn't come out right. But then after watching Son X, well, maybe the second one didn't come out as good either. I think he was trying to say you as children are failures like the first and potentially second pancake.
D-Cut says TJ has the worst hat head I've seen in years.
I see D-Cut. I disagree. That's the best his hair has looked in eons.
What hair?
Oh, wow.
X, why don't you take off your fucking hat, you motherfucker? Talking shit over there.
Oh, watch out, TJ. He's got
that over there, buddy.
TJ,
Holy
listen,
shit.
Talk to me nice.
Hey, that's what you look like you got going on right there.
Why don't you dip your head down, TJ, so we can see? Oh, boy, that was quick. Watch out.
Oh my God.
I think X has.
Kitty, can you give me a dough real quick? Dough. Give me one of those.
You saying I'm Homer Simpson?
That's right. That's right.
Just keep your hat glued to your head there, X.
Don't worry, I'll keep my full head of hair contained.
I want to say that I think
okay.
X has more hair in his hat than you have on your head, TJ.
Why doesn't X pull his little hair back like that instead of leaving? He's got all of his hair just sitting forward like that, trying to let it grow. Just wait till you see the hair.
I just didn't want to show you up, TJ. That's why.
Why are you so jealous of X's hair?
I'm not jealous of his
X,
hair.
show us again. Show us that hair again. He can do whatever the hell he wants because
pull
he's
your
got
hair back there, X. Like you're gonna go ahead, like you got.
Here's
like,
the thing: you are jealous.
X, why don't you pull your hair back real quick like that?
He could. Why would he? He has plenty of hair.
Why don't you do that for us, X?
At least I can pull my hair back.
Oh,
X, why don't you do that for us, huh?
It's fine. Look, there it is, right there.
No, pull the hair back. Pull the hair back, X. Pull the hair back.
It's all right. Don't be jealous, TJ. It's okay.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Okay.
Don't be jealous.
True L says here, let's talk about another athlete who cannot fucking stand. Alvin Kamara. Yes, let's talk about Alvin Kamara address the media. I will say this. Shit, Alexander, I will not forget about your video. Give me a second. Let's look at this. And I went back to the notifications. I'll look at that. Alvin Kamara addressed the media here recently.
Who wrote his statement? Somebody wrote it for him. You know that's not his words.
I don't even think it was somebody that wrote it. He just did not come off as very likable to me. I'll let you listen to it.
Look at this goof.
I'm gonna kind of go general, so we knock out all the questions. I'm gonna just knock them out because I know what y'all gonna ask. So,
Can we put,
yesterday when we met
with
with
captioning on here so I can understand what he's saying.
Okay.
When I met with Roger, it went well. I'm not going to get into the details of what we discussed in the meeting, but it went well. I think we got accomplished what we need to get accomplished. So obviously happy I got a chance to do that. Happy he gave me the opportunity to come up there because obviously I know that's not really protocol, but I mean, he gave me the opportunity and I took it and went up there and met with him and it went well. On to the Las Vegas incident. Obviously I haven't talked in a while. It's been a couple months, 18, 19 months that I've been dealing with this ordeal. Obviously, it's a tough ordeal to be in. I never want to be involved in something where someone gets hurt or severely injured or anything.
Stop
poor
stomping the shit out of
judgment on my end.
Maybe you should stop stomping the living shit out of people when their heads are down.
Let's listen to his whole statement. Let's listen to his whole statement.
He says everybody's happy. I'm like, I'm sure the guy who's in ICU is not happy.
Let's listen to his whole statement because I do find some things very hypocritical that he says here. Let's listen to the whole statement. It does not come off with me saying, wow, I'm a big Alvin Kamara supporter after this statement.
Anything, poor judgment on my end. Definitely a bad decision, but I'm a man. Everything I've ever done in my life, I stood on and I could take accountability for it. And I can say when I'm wrong. And I was completely wrong, embarrassed the Saints, embarrassed my family, my mother, embarrassed myself, embarrassed the city. And the Shield obviously embarrassed the NFL. So, I just tried to do my best to kind of keep it as much away from the media and as much away from the team as I could. Obviously it's hard to do that when, you got such a incident like that. So, I'll be lying if I said it wasn't tough. I've lost a lot throughout this ordeal. Definitely not looking for any pity, not looking for somebody to give me a pat on the back and say it's okay. I know what I did. I know what I was involved in, and I definitely take responsibility. And that's part of being a man and growing. from here, I just got to make the right decisions and make the right choices. So that's kind of what I got to say about that. So now let's talk about football because I'm back.
Hey, I know that I violently beat a guy there and beat the living piss out of him, but I'm just going to do a little 2-minute address, and we're not answering any other questions or talking about that ever again. I'm going to take ownership. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm going to own up to it. I'm going to take the blame I need. But I disappointed my family. I disappointed this. I disappointed that. But hey, let's move. Hey, moving right along, guys. Don't worry about that. I violently kicked the living shit out of somebody and punched a guy, knocked him unconscious. But we're not talking about that too much. Just going to give a 2-minute statement. Let's talk some football. Yeah.
How long before his next fight?
I don't think he'll do one again. But it's like what he did. It's like, dude, you're really downplaying what you did. I hate to be that guy, but like, you're acting like, I got into a mutual combat. You and a whole bunch of your buddies knocked a man unconscious, and you were seen there beating the living piss out of him while he was unconscious, punching and kicking and curb stomping his face in.
Put him in the ICU.
Oh, yeah, hey, I'll take responsibility. I can't be doing stuff like that again. Yeah, you can't be mercilessly beating somebody and just pummeling the hell out of them and joking around about it when you're in. Remember, because those videos got released too, how you're joking around, how you knocked this guy the fuck out and everything like that. You're joking around with your buddy. You remember that one? You didn't seem too contrite then before you got caught about it. Man, I didn't seem to care too much then. I'm like, that type of shit. I'm not on the Alvin Kamara train. Sorry. Yeah, we're just going to address it in a 2-minute long clip. And hey, that's it. I'm done talking about that. Just trying to keep it away from the team. I embarrass this person, that person. But hey, we're moving right along.
3-game suspension. That's it. Well, he received. What if that were me or you? What do you
going to jail?
We're going to jail.
You're going to jail.
Thank you very much. Ridiculous.
Does he ever see another NFL contract after this one?
I'm saying that's probably it for him.
I agree. I don't think
anyone towards the tail end too, though. I mean, like that's the thing. If he had nothing left in the tank, we wouldn't even hear about this, and he would have been martyred just like Ray Rice was.
He would have been Ray Rice.
Would still play football. They would have done anything they could to continue to paint him in a positive image. Yeah. They think Kamara still can, so that's what they're doing.
The fact that they allowed Alvin Kamara after this had already come out and everybody knew about it, allowed him to play in the All-Star game, just shows you how much of a joke the NFL is about caring for people. They don't give 2 shits about anybody except for their players and their money. That's it.
The money.
That's all they give a shit about. That's it.
Yep. Yeah. Mario also says during that series, the Islanders took out Teravainen also. Yep.
Game 1. Took him out in game 1.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But hold on a second. We do have some videos. I'm sorry. There's some videos from Alexander. Let's pull these up here. He sent these to us. Hold on a second, Alexander. Hold on. He gave me. Oh my God. Hold on. He said they're 2 related, I believe. Okay. Let's see the first one.
Fins up, baby. Go to her.
Fins up. Go to her.
Fins up, baby. Go to her.
Can't hear TJ.
I know.
Grumpy TJ, stop with this. This is a bad trade by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Karlsson is 30-something years old.
33.
Big defense with bad knees. And a massive contract.
Not that bad.
For the remainder of his career.
4 years.
And the Penguins are not better than the Islanders.
They're way better.
Face it. Okay.
Vastly
so stop the cap.
Grumpy, stop the cap, Grumpy. Do you know what the cap means?
What the cap? Salary cap?
No, cap is like lion.
Stop the cap, bro.
I thought it like put a cap in somebody's ass.
Cap is lying, bro.
Putting a cap in the Islanders. Pop a cap in the Islanders. The season's done.
Now, I will say this. Grumpy, who would you consider your arch rival, your arch nemesis, Grumpy?
I don't have one.
No, you've got some enemies. Come on, Grumpy.
I don't. I'm the leading supervillain in Islander world. I don't know who my arch. Who? Oh,
Tony Cheese happened to let you know Grumpy battling his arch nemesis, Lou Lamoriello.
The picture of Grump where he's gobbling down the glizzies is just the greatest.
If you strike me down, Lou, I'll become more powerful than you could ever imagine.
Oh,
Oh, good. That's a good one.
Oh my God.
Mario is Jack Koppel on his burner account. Fact. No, Mario's not wrong. Okay. Well, the team. Okay, Pittsburgh got better today
Absolutely.
than now. Here's the thing.
Absolutely.
Pittsburgh's still not winning the cup, just like the Capitals aren't winning a cup, just like the Islanders aren't winning a cup. But Pittsburgh at least made their team better. You know, I felt that they probably were on the fringe, maybe on the outside looking into making the postseason. I feel comfortable saying that I would, if I had to pencil them in someplace today, I'd pencil them into maybe a wild card spot in the postseason this year, which affects us because I thought we were maybe competing for one of those wild card spots. Now you have another competitor mixed in.
No, I thought Pittsburgh was going to beat us before, and I know they're going to beat us now. I mean, Pittsburgh might even come in third in division.
Wow, you think?
I
So?
think I think this is a big win for Pittsburgh. Anyone who can't see it ain't looking. They're not looking.
Get another comment here, Grumpy.
Fellas, when the Islanders miss the playoffs, it says if, but I'm putting the when. Is Lou 100% fired? I think he should already be gone. Kurt's writing about Johnston being gone is dumb. Matt Martin is done after this year. All teams, you say, or playoff contenders are adding weapons, except for the Islanders. They're not. I just love the Lamanites. No, the team is really different. I said, since when? Certainly not the end of the season.
No, it's different from when the year started, guys. That's what we're using.
Different from 1984. It's not the same team. But you know what? It's the same team that you lost in the first round to your big brother, your bitch slapping brother, the Carolina Hurricanes, who just own you. Owned. The Hurricanes own the Islanders. Own them. Absolutely own them. Islanders might as well just say, we're not playing today. It's over. We'll just take the L, move on to the next game.
Drew L says here, Conor McGregor and Jake Paul are never going to fight. But okay, Jake Paul is really 5'10". His height is incorrect. Oh, wow. Andrew Tate may fight Jake Paul. Yeah, Andrew Tate. That would be nice to see Andrew Tate fight Jake Paul. But again, it's another one of these guys who's 30-plus years old as a kickboxer now going to fight. Here's the thing. Tate can still throw a fucking mean punch. You seen the X? Have you seen those? What are you doing, X?
I'm watching.
Watch out, the fucking tyrant has spoken.
I was watching stuff about the Women's World Cup. That's what I was watching.
Why are you wasting your time on that?
United States getting knocked out. I saw they had a world on the screen.
You like how they rolled the goalie out as their sixth penalty kick taker. They roll the goalie out who drills it right down the middle. You like how the goalie for the United States women's national team puts the puck or puts the ball on net, but you got three other people over here whose job it is to put the ball on net, don't even find it, ring them into the stands, and then one rings it off the post. I'm like, holy shit.
I'm surprised that any of those women could get the ball over the top of the crossbar.
They showed the United States badge for the Women's World Cup team, and they said they changed it now, universal sign of choking.
Oh. Angel said McGregor went 10 rounds, was one of the best ever in his first ever boxing match. I'd say that speaks volumes. Yes, it does, Andrew L.
It's actually not his first ever boxing match, so he's actually a boxer before he joined the UFC. But I mean,
first professional fight.
Yeah,
that magnitude.
Floyd Mayweather never knocked anyone out, ever.
Jab, run. Jab, jab, run. That's all he ever did.
He never knocking anybody out. He just ran away from like he always did. And he was in his 40s.
Look at here. D-Cut says X ditched the glasses after taking heat last week from the gallery. Wow. I'm glad you put contacts in there, son X.
That's right. I need them. Otherwise, I can't see.
Grumpy is the Phil's facts of the fight game. Oh, fight game, Grumpy. Okay.
Little shot at here. Okay, sure.
Drew L says, I'm not going to lie. I screwed up. Apparently, We Hoop and put out a song about the NFL playoffs, and I forgot to send it to you.
Oops, that's okay.
TJ, look it up real quick. YouTube.
Let's go to the next comment, please.
D-Cut, Grump.
Goon, Drew Frank should get guest spots on the show, amongst others.
Hey, come on in. You guys are loyal, Frank. Absolutely. Yeah. Led by you, D-Cut.
No, I have not listened to the album yet.
Free to Fun Adventure, Grumpy.
Okay, Grump, have you not listened to Havana 3M album? I think I need to take away 3 stars until you do. Wow. Son X, I could see TJ being a serial killer partnered with his special friend Phil.
Oh, man.
Like those Zodiac killers. They were like more than one, I think.
You'll
Frank
see
says,
a couple of Halloween films coming up the next couple of months.
Frank says Jets should have
got
got.
Tristan Wirfs instead of Fat Knee Mekhi Becton.
Yeah, it's true.
Mekhi Becton looks good right now, Frank. I'm telling you, he's poised for a good season this year. JP says, in the plot of Rain Man, Charlie Babbitt figures out the Rain Man was his older brother. As before, Raymond was institutionalized. He was too young to form the name Raymond. Rain Man.
There you go.
D-Cut says, am I hearing this right? TJ is calling somebody a mental midget? Yes. Here's the thing. Some people don't know how to fight adversity. You just have to have it like water off a duck's back. But some people, they start getting, it's the same reason why people are up there at bat where it's like, oh, I had 3 strikeouts in a row. Or I've got a golden sombrero, and they go off a freaking streak where, hey, I can't get a hit for the next 20 games. Mental midget. JP says here, that's why the brothers lost touch and Charlie was unaware of having a brother. Yep. Drill said, TJ, if you didn't care about Tristan Wirfs' situation, then why did you make that one of your topics? Grumpy, here's the thing. Grumpy sent me a whole bunch of things, and if I don't go ahead and include what Grumpy wants to talk about, then I'll hear a whole bunch of shit from Grump later on. I sent you stuff.
I did. I must have sent you 20 items. This is so easy to do this podcast, even from a monkey like you. You just could have just programmed the things that I said, and we could have done a podcast.
TJ,
nothing today.
TJ, you must have been a mental midget when it came to holding penalties.
No,
no,
not holding penalties. False start.
False start.
He has won
stupid
every single game. Every game he had a false start. Every game.
Not every game.
Yes, every game.
Get that applause button for me.
But it was only one. It was only one. I was like right away, usually. First or second drive, false. I'm like, God damn it, TJ.
You get the yips.
No. Grumpy, here's the thing. Grumpy's old ass, his memory continues to
Oh, no. It's true.
Let's talk a little about this. The Pac-12, like this, disappearing, gone into the ether. You've got Washington and Oregon that left the Pac-12 to join the Big Ten. The Big Ten now is at 18 fucking teams. Gotta love that one. The Big 12 added quite a few teams like Utah and a few others. And it's like the Pac-12 now is down to 4 teams. Obviously, you can tell that there was a lot that went on behind the scenes. And it looked like a deal was going to get done like in 3 or 4 hours of the day that they all announced that they were leaving. So, the Pac-12 disintegrated this week. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Hard to believe. The Power 5 is now Power 4. Do you think it gets any smaller than what it is now? Do you think it'll go 3 conferences? I don't think they can.
I think you're going to see all of the big name teams leave and join the SEC, and then you might as well, instead of the national championship or the national championship for the playoffs, they might as well just call it the SEC championship.
Okay, you can't do that because
you are doing it.
No, what I'm saying is there were 5 power conferences, right?
Yeah.
Now it's 4. So do you think it shrinks any more than 4? I don't think it can, honestly.
I think it can.
I don't see how you're never going to play everybody in your conference, first of all.
It's going to shrink further. What's going to happen is you're only going to play the players in your division. Each conference is going to split up to like the Coastal has, right? The Coastal and the Atlantic. All the teams like the SEC East and the SEC West, all the teams are going to split up into 2 different divisions. What you're going to do is you're just going to play your divisional teams, and then you're going to go ahead and play the conference champion. That's how that's going to go. It's going to continue to split. This is the death of college football. College football is on the decline. College football will be killed in the matter of time. That's the unfortunate truth of it. I think this is it's an awful day for college football. Awful day for college athletics.
I agree.
Even Clemson's been talking about. There have been rumors for Clemson leaving the
Clemson and Florida State. Yep, they're both looking to leave, and so is Chapel Hill. Right? They got a whole bunch of teams that are looking to leave. It's all about the money. And here's the thing: it's the unfortunate truth of it. All right, money makes the world go round. All these teams want these huge money deals, and now that players can openly be paid, well, shit. If we can go ahead and make more money to openly pay player ABC, and it gets more interest and intrigue from our fans, and it can allow them to put more money into our team and more money in name, image, and likeness, teams are going to look to do that because it sets them up for the most success, drives the most dollars going to their university, drives more admissions, you name it, it does it. It's the sad truth of the death of college athletics.
I don't think we're there yet, but we're on our way.
You could see the path. It's pretty clear. And it's like the Pac-12, over 100 years of history in the Pac-12.
Gone.
Yep.
Gone.
I think the ACC's next.
Where's it going?
Next.
Gone.
They're going to disappear. They're going to split up.
Gone forever.
Gone. ACC is about to be gone.
I loved it.
The next one.
I loved it when the Rose Bowl was the Big Ten champion against the Pac-12 champion. Or Pac-10. It was Pac-10 back then.
I liked it when the Big Ten had 10 teams and the Big 12 had 12 teams. Instead of having 18, I mean, shit, by the time it's all said and done, you're going to have 20 teams in the Big 10 and the Big 12. It's just a fucking joke.
Right. Oh, the same thing with the SEC. What do they have, 16 teams now?
I just don't like the fact that they're called the Big 10 and the Big 12. But they've got 18 teams in the league. It's no longer 12 or the 10, which is the implication of the name Big 10 and Big 12.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, so it's a sad day for college athletics.
It's all about money. I thought none of these schools that crime money, they don't have all this money. I don't understand how they have this money. Aren't they supposed to be teaching kids? I didn't realize they were,
It's all about the money. Yeah. It's all about the money. Now, here's the thing. They're trying to say, oh, great, here's a possible solution. Florida State and Clemson want to leave the ACC, right? Well, then you could form the ACC, Big 12, and Pac-12. You can have 32 teams left, and you can run it into a whole bunch of NFL-style divisions. The Northeast, you can have – it's just like it's the bastardization of the sport. It's just going to lead to more and more disappointment for fans who are not rooting for teams that are the best. I don't root for a big team. I root for a mid-level team. I root for the University of Pittsburgh. They're fucking done.
They're not a mid-level team.
Yeah, they are.
A low-level team.
They're a mid-level team. True. They're middle-of-the-road type of team, just like a lot of teams are. The majority of teams in college athletics are middle-of-the-road teams. They have some years where they play really well and most years where they're average. It's just what it is. And for fans who root for teams like that, I'm a Purdue fan. I'm a Vanderbilt fan. I'm a fan of Rutgers. I'm a fan of Colorado. I'm a fan of, you'll have a whole bunch of mid-level. All those teams are done.
Yeah, because, my thing is, how do playoffs work then if they're – because, obviously strength of schedule.
They're expanding it from 4 to 12.
I thought it was so important, though, to make sure that the kids were fully rested. That's why we couldn't add games before for playoffs. We couldn't expand the playoffs because, the kids, we're thinking about the kids. I guess the kids were pretty important until they threw a dollar amount on the table, and then they're not that important anymore.
Right.
The kids, here's the thing. It was never about any of that shit.
We know.
It's never about any of that stuff. Oh, their integrity. That's why they can't go ahead and get paid. Is because of the student athlete what type of bullshit? I forgot the bullshit they used to roll out as to why players used to not be able to get paid back in the day. It used to be a line of shit. They always used to toe the company line. That's all. Oh, it's because of this. It's because that. It's because of their amateurism. Oh, that's why we can't. It's the true value of amateurism. I'm like,
they didn't want to pay the players. That's the reason why they didn't want to pay the players.
It's a cash cow for the majority of these universities where they can just go ahead and line their pockets with that shit.
It bothers them that they have to pay the players now. So what are they doing? They're enticing other teams to increase TV revenues. That's what the whole thing's about. They want to line their pockets. Think about how much the NCAA was sticking in their greedy pockets all those years when they're not paying the players under the auspices of this is amateur athletics. It's always been big business. It's so full of shit. And then when you pop a team for recruiting violations, everyone was doing it. Everyone was doing it.
Or you mean
everyone was doing it.
Go ahead, X.
Or you mean now the Harbaugh issue where he got popped for freaking buying lunch for one of the recruits?
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And you're giving a player $1 million a year for name, image, and likeness. Stop.
The the $100 handshake, that shit that you hear rumors about is absolutely true and real. I can tell you from personal experience, players who have the $100 handshake. Hey, donor A comes up and gives you a little handshake. Great game. Got a few $100 bills wrapped up in there and you stick it right. That type of shit absolutely is real. And at big schools, it's even more than that. Hey, we got a new Chick-fil-A rolling in. Well, here's a whole bunch of Chick-fil-A coupons. And hey, those just happen to get all allocated to the football team. And all the football players got 7 or 8 different free Chick-fil-A sandwiches for the new Chick-fil-A that was opened up. All that type of shit that you imagine that could be crooked that goes on absolutely does.
So, TJ, you're telling me that you got Chick-fil-A coupons?
He turned down the money to take the free food.
Coupons, that's what it was.
The name, image, and likeness stuff it was the beginning of the end.
He's like,
here's the thing: the players needed to get paid, but it should be where it's like a salary. It's like a salary. Because here's the thing: once you start just saying, "Hey, go ahead," it's the same issue that baseball teams had for years and years. Except imagine instead of there being 32 teams, there's 100 plus teams that play baseball, and the teams that could spend money are so freaking small, and they could spend so much more money than anybody else, and they could just buy. Hey, you had a good year at Rutgers, and you ran for 2,000 yards. Well, great. We're going to go ahead and bring you over here and sign you as a free agent, where there's no stipulations on how much money I can piss away on bringing this student athlete over here for.
Do you remember what I thought probably 2 or 3 years ago on this show, 2 years ago, I said what they should do is because they were saying, this college scholarship and blah, blah, blah. I never thought the money was going to be this crazy this soon. We talked about that last year. We knew it was going to go crazy. We didn't think it was going to be like immediately though. We thought it might be a year or two. It was like a month. So we were way off there, but we knew it was going to happen. We first people talk about it, and we knew it was going to happen. Yep. I said like 2 or 3 years ago, I said, you know what we should do? They should say, this is what your college scholarship is worth. We'll give it to you in cash. You can put it towards your school. If you don't feel like you want to go to class, you can take that money and pocket it as a salary. That's what I thought they should do with athletics. And I thought that was kind of a happy medium, because the players hadn't proved themselves out. They weren't truly professionals. But this way, if you want to get an education, you could. But if you didn't, you say, college isn't going to be my thing. I'm just using this as a springboard for something else. Then you could just take that money and pocket it. I thought that was a good way to look at it. The NCAA didn't seem to think so. And now they want to have regulations because things are out of control. They should have just listened to the grumpy old man. Everything could have been solved immediately.
That's a bad idea. Anyway, do you remember what we had talked about Grumpy? It never would have worked.
Players are worth
because
more.
They're not exactly. They're worth more than what the college scholarship was. Let's say it's like, hey, if I'm in state and I go to public school A, it winds up costing me $24,000 a year. Why the hell would I go there?
Whatever the cost of a normal scholarship is, whatever the cost of a normal year, not your in-state or any of that.
They're still worth 10 times that amount.
Okay.
That's my point. It doesn't. It was never going to work.
No one expected the money to be. I never expected the money to be this out of control.
You weren't paying attention then, I guess.
You're trying to tell me you knew this was going to be the case.
Look at
multi-million-dollar deals would come for players who could play. Absolutely.
Look at high school, but kids who get drafted out of high school for baseball. That's a perfect comparison. Look at how much money Bryce Harper made coming out of high school for baseball. On the cover of ESPN magazine, on the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine coming out of high school. That's a perfect example to put towards that for how much money he was making straight out of high school.
Okay. I'm just saying, while you're in college, I thought that was a nice this is before they were allowed to get any money. This was like 2-3 years ago when it first came up. I mean, this is before the NIL deals, because not everyone is going to get that money. Some offensive linemen not getting a whole lot of NIL money.
What they're doing is this. What you're going to have the donors in general just say, hey, every single player on top of their scholarship, just like Oklahoma, they did this for every single, the entire Oklahoma women's softball team. I think they won the entire They won the little championship this year. Every single one of them received, hey, you're going to receive your scholarship, and on top of that, $20,000 extra to come play here. They just do it for every single player, walk on or not. So that's how you get the best. Well, shit. Well, if I'm going to choose walk on between Penn State or Oklahoma, if I can make $20,000, well, shit, I'm going to go ahead and pick up Oklahoma as well and be a preferred walk on there, get $20,000 in my pocket every single year. Okay. It's just like you're going to have the best pick. Whoever can offer the most is going to have the best pick of the litter. Now, here's the thing. What I said was going to happen, sure enough, is I said the NCAA wanted to leave things as loose as they could to let shit fucking burn.
And
And
then
what they're hoping is that these conferences and that all these people are going to be begging, please, we need some sort of regulations. And as soon as that happens, they come and take a stranglehold back on shit again.
yeah.
So that's what's going to happen with it. I just hope it goes over smoothly and we don't end up with a shit product. But I will say more and more conferences will continue to just get gobbled up by top tier conferences.
Or they want the government to come in and regulate it. That'll fuck it up real quick.
That won't happen. I don't think something like that's going to happen. Maybe it will, but that would just be
because the government will take all the damn money. That's what'll wind up happening.
Yeah, but then I guess you do the same thing. Does the government regulate the NFL?
No, what's going to happen is they're going to have the NCAA is going to regulate this shit. And it's going to be the organizations, the colleges, the universities, the conferences, the little ones are going to be begging on their hands and knees, and they're going to come together on some huge communal vote to where every single Division I school gets one vote per team, and they're going to have an overwhelming majority because the really, really good teams are a small, minute population, but they have the most money and a significant amount they could spend. They have to put a cap on the shit. They have to put some sort of limitations on what they can do. It cannot just be the Wild West to whatever team wants to throw the most money can go ahead and get the best players, because the people with the biggest donor base are just going to go ahead and lump all in one division, and all the other football is not going to be worth watching. And anytime the player performs well, they're going to go ahead and transfer to the next team that can pay the most money.
Until those big teams decide to separate from the NCAA, make a super league, and then they go ahead and just have their own super league with their talent, and then nobody watches the NCAA anymore.
There it is. But enough on my soapbox. But yes, the Pac-12 it's one of the beginnings to the end, unless something comes in and steps in and puts some sort of regulations on top of this shit. And they're not going to be fun regulations either. It's just it's a bad situation. Brandon Gaines said the Giants ranked 6th in the most dropped passes last year. How is that Daniel Jones's fault? Here's the what was Daniel Jones's completion percentage? How many yards did Daniel Jones throw for? Gonna make me look this up. Daniel Jones is a game managing quarterback. What are you doing, Grumpy? Are you looking at that stat? Okay, 3,200 passing yards.
His
3,200 passing yards, 67% completion percentage, 3,200 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, and 5 picks. Okay, this motherfucker is a starting quarterback in the NFL and didn't even average a touchdown a game. That is not a good quarterback.
No.
If you can't throw for a touchdown a game in a pass-happy league, I don't give a shit how many times your wide receivers are dropping the ball. He had a 67% completion percentage.
The best game he played all year was against Minnesota in the first round of playoffs. That's what got him the contract extension.
Yes.
Then he turned back into the pumpkin that he is.
Yep.
He's just not. He's not a good enough quarterback. Just not.
Yep. Got a comment here from Drew L. Grumpy.
You know, it'd be interesting to have a Brandon Gaines and TJ debate on how about the Giants on this show.
I mean, like, it's not much to talk about. It's like the same thing with you could, but I mean, like, Giants fans are doomed to the same exact misery.
Whoa, what was that, TJ? Would you have like a hiccup, a burp? What the heck's going on over there? What was that? Why are you doing that?
I know how to stop Grumpy real quick.
Who's this fucking idiot?
I can't believe the NFL season's already over.
Oh, God, stop it. I got to get off now. Turn it off.
Every year.
Off I go.
Hold on.
Calm
not
down.
listen to it. Won't do it.
Dude,
what's wrong, Grumpa?
I told you I don't want this clown getting any rub from this show.
Do you think like us showing on this show is going to go ahead and make him blow up or something?
No, I just hate him. I don't want to even know he exists. Move on.
You know what it does, Grumpy, when you do this? It just makes you want to put it on even more.
Move along. Do that shit on your own time.
T-cut, Grumpy.
Therapy should be required for every player when your quarterback is Baker Mayfield.
Can we at least listen to the playoff song he has? Maybe it's going to be valuable.
I don't want to hear him talk. He's annoying.
Grumpy, can you put in earbuds for about, 3 minutes?
The fans, the listeners of the show want to listen, Grumpy. Sometimes
they're all saying quiet.
You got to talk about.
I'll tell you what. You can play it. I'll just turn my sound off.
There you go. That works.
Right, that's fine.
There we go.
How is he going to know when he needs to come back on, though? That's the problem.
I'll wave my hands.
I'll do something else. Maybe I'll just talk over his stupid shit. I don't have to hear it, but I can just talk right over the top of it so no one else can suffer through it.
It's been a good season, Grump. Damn, man. Oh, shit, Grump.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do you recognize that field, Grumpy? Grumpy. Grumpy. God damn.
Grump.
That's McAlpine Creek Field, isn't it, X? That's the field that they would... God damn. You know...
Are you done?
Grumpy, do you recognize this field?
Looks like Providence High School.
It's the field. It's the public park to where it rained. That's where we would go to practice. Do you remember what the hell that field was called? This is Grumpy. This is right in your stomping grounds, Grumpy. He went and recorded this. You may have bumped into him a time or two.
Grandpa.
Yeah, he's probably one of these. Probably guy eating his own snots or eating his own shit. That I probably made fun of him. Look at this fucking loser. That's probably what I said.
He's eating his own shit.
Grumpy, come on, give it a chance. You know this.
I know. I told you no.
Grumpy.
I'm not interested. I already told you that.
All right, back to mute, Grump.
Okay, back to you.
It's playoff time, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's start in the NFC.
Oh shit, that's Tom Brady.
The GOAT.
Grumpy, the GOAT. Let's see what he's gonna say about the GOAT.
We got the Bucks, Vikings, Niners, Seahawks. We got the Eagles. We got New York up in this bitch. We got the Giants and the Dallas Cowgirls. In the AFC, we got the Chargers, the Dolphins. We got the Jags, the Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Bengals. Thank you, Joe Burrow. And most importantly, we got Lamar.
Okay, I'm done with that though, X.
That was terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah. I was about to say he's much better in short content. Let's see here. What was that Grumpy?
He sucks all the time. I can't listen to him. Honestly, he's just annoying.
I like him in short content. Grumpy.
I like when he has his temper tantrums in the attic. Those are my favorite.
I wish he'd fall through the attic floor and break his neck.
Frank Grumpy.
Be in a chair like this going, neek, neek, neek.
Frank Grumpy. Next comment there, Frank.
As a Jets fan, I'm concerned about the O-line.
Yeah. TJ, I was blinded by the light by the head.
Blinded by the light.
TJ's hairline is so far back you can make a skate park.
Wow.
With all that space on his head.
He's got a half pipe built in.
Wow.
TJ's wasting time because of his hair envy. That's it. That was for you, Son X. Love you, TJ. Just got to keep TJ in check. Compadres, which pro sport player transcends all sports?
All time or right now?
In the history of sports. If you had to pick one player. Jordan, right?
No.
It's Jordan.
I was gonna say Tiger Woods.
Okay. I was gonna say Jordan. I mean, like the Jordan brand is just so freaking huge.
Or maybe Babe Ruth.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that, because when people say the greatest athlete, they say the Babe Ruth of this sport. You don't hear that from any other player.
X, who do you think transcends all sports right now?
I
think Babe Ruth. Who are you thinking?
Maybe Muhammad Ali. I mean, guys like that.
I heard some murmurs about the Shohei Ohtani of this sport, the Shohei Ohtani of that.
Oh my God, Shohei Ohtani, is he transcend sports? X?
No, he does not.
He transcends languages, Grumpy.
He speaks Japanese. That's never going to happen here. I mean, you look about.
Make it sound like they only play 14 United States.
Grumpy, we're going to get rid of your ass now.
You have to say like the biggest star in every sport who you think when you think that sport you think.
I thought you were going to say Broadway Joe, Grumpy.
No. And you know who else I'm not going to say? I'm not going to say Tom Brady.
He's just a football guy.
I don't think football. Well, I don't think football has one because it's the ultimate team sport. It really is. Yes, quarterbacks get more credit than they deserve, but Jordan in the NBA, for certain, I think is Jordan in the NBA. It's like Babe Ruth and who's the Babe Ruth of a sport? that pretty much tells you who it is. And then
Ohtani.
if you, no, it's not Shohei Ohtani. Muhammad Ali in boxing. People around the world. We know that guy. Pele in soccer. It's Pele. In wrestling, Hulk Hogan. It's like who were like the number one guy, right? That's what it is. But in football, as much as I don't think there is one. I just don't think there is one. Maybe because, like I said, it's just such a team sport that the individual stuff you don't see as much.
Drew L said here, the kicker of that whole speech, as he said he had lost a lot, $100,000 for Alvin Kamara as pocket change. Plus, he got a slap on the wrist of a suspension with no serious crime. He's a piece of shit. Yeah, $100,000 as well. Oh, watch out. Oh,
I lost a lot.
He also had money. He had to pay off the guy, too.
I'm sure, because he's like, I can't. Here's the thing. That's what happens when you go pummel and send somebody to the ICU, curb stomping the shit out of him, punching an unconscious man.
So the guy dropped whatever he did. He didn't want to, whatever happened, but he has to pay. I don't know what it is, but the guy will make some money.
Grump, good question here. Would you have taken the money, or would you have still put up charges for him for assault?
I don't need the money, so I would have raked him over the coals with the charges. Here's the thing. I wouldn't have been involved in a stupid ass situation like that anyway. It's the morons club, and you're never gonna catch me in a situation like that. I'm not a moron.
Kamara entered a no contest plea, and he'll have to complete 30 hours of community service and pay the victim roughly $100,000 in medical bills. So there's your answer. He didn't pay any. He paid the victim $100,000.
No. He can still bring a civil suit against him. That was the crime charge. He can still bring a civil suit against him, absolutely, and I would. He'd freaking pay. He's just paying for his medical bills. I'd sue him for every damn thing he's got.
Yeah.
The gold shit on his teeth, everything. Melt it down, and I'll turn it into something good.
How about his nose ring, Grumpy? What'd you do with his nose ring?
I'd yank that shit right out of his nose. I'll take that now as a down payment. Bleed out, bitch.
Grumpy kills my ass.
Okay, yeah. Green's attorney also said a $10 million civil suit was filed against Kamara last year.
There you go. That's the one he's going to pay.
That has been settled. The settlement terms are confidential. The attorney said it was separate from the criminal matter. We settled with all parties to include Chris Layman's. So honestly, I mean, he did have to get his ass kicked, and I mean, it was not a good ass kicking. But
he was eating on the straw for a couple months, but
hey,
worth $10 million.
There it is.
It's all right. I knew he'd have to pay him. There's no way he's getting off with just that. Was the criminal case. That's what I was trying to.
Did you read this one, Grumpy, yet?
No. Here we go. Not only that, TJ, he was also bragging about beating the shit out of that guy to his friends. There's leaked audio of him in an Uber saying that. Yep. I think we even played on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Got another comment here. There isn't any more, Drew. There was back in my day in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, aka by far the greatest sports era. There's nobody else who transcends the sports right now.
No, not now. Nobody now. I don't want to say everyone is global. Just times were different to be truly transcend the sport. Now you got idiots like the Paul kid.
Yeah, they transcend all boxing, Grumpy.
But think about it, right? But they're nothing. They don't transcend it for being good at anything. They're just nonsense. It's just all nonsense. And like I said, social media is the worst thing that happened. Al Gore, we have you to blame for inventing the internet. But it's just all nonsense. Like being an idiot is appealing to people. Getting eyeballs, getting views. Again, I watched a little bit of SummerSlam last night, and you see the fans are the guys are like from here to here, and they got their freaking phones up. I'm like, dudes, you are right there. Why are you looking through your damn phone viewfinder? You have a guy 2 foot away from you, and you think you got to have a phone up. It's embarrassing. It's sad and pathetic. Anyone who does that is fucking pathetic.
Good. Oh, go ahead, X.
Grumpy.
Are they pathetic or are they something else, Grump?
They're fucking pathetic.
They're sub-pathetic.
Goon says, Grumpy, should we feel compassion for hoarders? Grumpy's a little bit of a hoarder himself.
Okay,
So yes,
I'm not a hoarder. I mean, that's the fucking warden. She thinks we should just live like in one room with 2 stick chairs and a drop-down light fixture.
Motherfucker still has his goddamn boom boxes across the damn room. How
That
often
doesn't make you a hoarder. You know what a hoarder is?
Take those boom boxes in the trash can.
DLC Season 3, Episode 5.
That's where Grandpa makes an appearance there, X.
Yeah, he's that little old guy sitting in all that filth.
Now, let me tell you something. I guarantee you my house is cleaner than some other houses.
But have you guys ever seen that?
I'm just saying, I guarantee you my house is cleaner than some other houses. That's all I said.
Whose house are you talking about there, Grandpa?
I'm sure there's plenty of houses that are, let me tell you something, my house clean.
Ow! Who are you
All I'm
talking
saying.
about, Grandpa? X, he's not talking about me. Is he? Who else is he talking about there, X?
My house is cleaner than your house too, TJ.
Your house is not cleaner than ours.
It absolutely is.
It is absolutely not.
You're wrong.
Yeah, okay. Drew says, Alex, I'm sorry. Are you actually drunk in that video, though? Oh, God. Joseph C says here, Drew, there are young athletes with tons of money. They're going to do stupid things, says Joseph C. Yeah.
Don't give them any money.
Yeah, that's going to go over well. D-Cut says, Alexander's been smoking that good weed before his videos. Oh,
It's
man.
True. It's true.
Okay. Joseph C says, most young people with money make bad decisions.
That's not true. Some do, not most.
You got doing a little smoking of the weed there. Gungun says, Grumpy, how do you go about keeping your sofa smelling so fresh and clean? Do you use Febreze? Do you spray it with a lemon juice?
It's, first of all, it is a leather couch, so I do not spray it down with Febreze.
It gets all sticky then.
It doesn't get sticky.
It would
Maybe
get all sticky if you sprayed it with Febreze, motherfucker.
Oh,
That's
that's what you said. A couch gets sticky. I'm like, what the hell are you doing on your couch to make it get sticky?
If you spray a leather couch with Febreze, it will.
Oh, I
get
thought you were
sticky,
doing
motherfucker.
something else. I didn't think you were spraying anything. I thought you. Well, what happens if it gets sticky? I'm like, what the hell are you doing to make your couch sticky?
He missed his grape elixir over top of it. That's what he does.
He mixes a little grape elixir. Does he use like a little spray can? He puts a little grape, he screws on the top, goes and sprays the grape elixir all over the place.
Yeah.
Grape elixir, yep.
Now that would make it sticky though, so I don't do that.
Hey, Frank Grumpy.
This Lou and Chris Lamobrillo worry me that the Islanders probably guaranteed Lou that they would have Fredo get a shot at the GM Isles in the future. Better not happen. I don't think so. I don't think there's any way Fredo gets the job. Drew says, TJ, I do get your frustration with the Daniel Jones signing. Just to play devil's advocate for a second, I'll ask you 2 things. The first one is look at the contract structure, and the second one is who's going to replace Daniel Jones within this draft? Will Levis? He's getting outplayed by Malik Garbage Willis. I don't want to be that guy, but Joe Schoen had no choice.
His contract is structured to where after 2 years they could go ahead and cut him with no real dollars, no dead cap hit. I'm aware of that. Now, who would be used as a valid replacement? Again, like you could have gotten a guy like Will Levis late in the second. Now, again, a guy like
he went early. He went early in the second.
Okay, I'm sorry, early in the second. You could have gotten a guy like Will Levis.
Traded back into the end of the first, something like that.
Sure. Here's the thing. A guy like Will Levis does need time to he does need time to improve. He does need time to work on his craft. He's not a guy who would be ready to go. It gives you 2 years to figure out, hey, do we like what we see in a guy like Levis? And after 2 years of development, is he a possible candidate for us to go ahead and roll with? And if the Daniel Jones experiment falls flat on its face, which it very easily can, you've got a backup scenario. I don't think the Jones situation is going to result the way Giants fans are wanting it to.
Yeah.
And does Will Levis have a chance? Here's the thing. Will Levis should not be thrown into, hey, you're the starting QB. And if he is, it's irresponsible of the Titans to do that.
Yeah, Tannehill's going to be the starter this year. That's what's going to happen. If things go south, you'll see him play. It won't be Malik Willis. That much I can tell you.
Frank Grumpy.
We could have won that series. Aho own goal, more on Mayfield giving up a goal after rushing to beg the referee for a call, and that cheap shot in overtime on Sorokin killed us, or we would have won. No. Okay. Here's the thing. Let's say Antti Ranta doesn't let 5 goals go in right through his body.
Yes.
It's a sweep. It's a sweep. He was so bad in net. We were thoroughly outplayed in that series against a team that was hurt. And here's the thing. We never beat Carolina. Their style is conducive to us getting beat. And it happened again. We don't beat them. Not good enough.
Drew L said, speaking of Conor McGregor, if somebody or if somehow him and Jake Paul actually wind up fighting,
how many freaking ifs and fucking buts were in that damn statement by Frank? It's like if this and this
is
and
true.
this and
This
this
is true.
and
This
this.
is true, Grumpy. This is not Frank.
No, before the statement. I'm still in the other statement.
Oh, you haven't moved on past
this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If all that fucking shit goes right, we could have won. We could have won that series, or we would have. You never were going to beat Carolina.
Why were we never going to beat Carolina?
All Carolina had to do was start Freddie Anderson, and it's a 4-game sweep with no goals scored. They played Antti Ranta, who's a hideous backup.
Speaking of Conor McGregor, if somehow him and Jake Paul would have wound up fighting, how in the literal hell is Jake Paul going to win? Jake Paul can't even fight a real boxer. He lost to Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury's a pretty good boxer.
He is.
Conor McGregor's not a real boxer either.
Yeah, I was about to say he only fights UFC guys that are all in their mid to late 30s who have gotten their ass, who have taken a shit ton of punishment over time and are going to get paid a huge contract while doing so. And he's trying to bluster like I'm a real boxer by not fighting anybody who boxes and fighting guys who are all 37 and 38 years old as he's a 26-year-old kid. You know, I'm not saying it doesn't take talent and skill to get into the rink and compete at a professional level, but you're not fighting the creme of the creme. You're fighting the freaking bottom. You're fighting the cellar dwellers. Joseph C says here, why does anybody give a shit about Andrew Tate, by the way? Dude is a sex trafficker douche. I don't know. He said different things on the BBC report, as from what I understood. Now, I think he will. He'll probably fight Paul. I think they talked about it. I don't know. They had like a Skype call or something like that where they had talked about it. But yeah, I have no idea what's going on with that thing.
Boxing is dead. Boxing is dead. It's dead.
UFC is more popular than boxing is right now.
Boxing is dead. UFC is borderline dead too.
Why do you think they're dead, Grump?
I just don't think enough people watch them.
Or do you think that it's people can make money in other ways now as opposed to getting their heads bashed in?
Well, of course that's the reason for certain. Or here's the thing: when you make so much money,
you can do one fight and retire.
That's my point. Back in the olden days, to become a really good boxer, you had to fight a lot.
Yeah.
To learn the things. Now it's like, okay. And honestly, it started like in the 70s and 80s when the purses started getting really, really big. But you had to fight before you fought for a title. You would have to fight like 30, 35 fights. It gave you a chance to hone your craft, to become as good as you can. You fought yourself up. You would fight 4-round fights, 6-round fights, 8-round fights, 12 rounds or 10 rounds. And then maybe if you get a championship, it's 15, right? But these guys weren't being paid exorbitant amounts of money. Now you get paid, $50 million for a fight. You'd never have to fight again.
Well, that's one thing. You can make I think they had some purses were up to like 80 to 100 million.
I mean, you don't need to fight anymore. Yeah. Or how many guys I fought, and even in MMA, Brock Lesnar, right? He fought what, 3 fights, and then he goes for the title and he wins the title. I mean, you don't have to do that now. Back in the olden days, MMA's and UFC are different, right? But as to be a boxer, you weren't getting title shots after 5 or 6 fights. You had to fight a lot. You had to start young. It's not like you could have started boxing when you were 25 years old. By then, forget it. By the time you were good enough to get a shot, you'd be retired.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to take a guess what Brock Lesnar was a pretty damn good UFC fighter, right? Everybody remembers him as a very good UFC fighter,
was he,
right?
5-1, 6-1, 5-2, 6-2.
He only fought 9 times.
Yeah. That's the way it is. And in that sport, you lose one, that's it, you're done.
Yep.
So few guys after they lose come back to be that great. It's like, it's tough.
It gets in your head that you can be beat. I mean, that's a sport that's pure confidence. It's one-on-one combat. And it's like you start losing, you start doubting yourself, and that's when you make mistakes in the ring. That's when you get really hurt.
Yep. You have to have a certain mindset to go into the ring like that.
To fight.
Right. Yeah.
Brock.
Like I guarantee you, Tim Anderson, he doesn't go ahead and try and swing on somebody else. He'll probably think twice before doing that after getting his ass knocked out.
That's true.
Drell says here, at least Conor McGregor went 10 rounds with the greatest lightweight boxer.
He was not the greatest lightweight boxer ever. No,
the
Drew.
greatest lightweight boxer ever. Even if
Christ.
McGregor is in
No.
the same fighter he wants, there's no way he'd lose. This is Jake Paul.
Oh my God.
These
freaking millennials, Drew. Now you're a freaking
Mayweather is the greatest fighter of ever.
Drew Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
He's an astro spick on a damn turd of the greatest lightweights ever.
Okay, he has the most wins.
I don't give a shit. Here's the thing. He couldn't have fought in the 70s and the 80s. He would have gotten destroyed.
Just like Babe Ruth couldn't have played in the current era. It's
no. I
yes,
said
yes, it is.
Floyd Mayweather was the newer guy. He would have got destroyed by the older guy. That's what would have happened.
In Babe Ruth playing with newer guys right now in the era,
he'd be great.
He'd
still be the greatest player ever.
Bullshit.
Greatest ever. He'd hit. Here's the thing: in this league, with the way they have the strike zone, he'd hit 150 home runs a year. That's what he did.
He probably wouldn't be able to. He wouldn't have the reflexes to even hit a fastball.
He was tremendous.
No,
let alone a ball, let alone a 12-6 curveball.
He would have hammered those balls all out of the.
All right,
the ballparks are a lot smaller too. The ballparks are a lot smaller too. All those flyouts to deep center.
Not every game.
454 feet away.
Every game was played in Polo Grounds, Grump.
Well, Yankee Stadium was deep as shit too.
All righty, motherfuckers. We're getting back on topic. We got some comments to get through here, huh? Freedom Fund Adventure says all three answered this. The world was a better place when guys in sports and guys on the street had to worry about consequences. Yeah, sure.
Yep,
true.
I feel like you didn't see as much like people going out especially athletes going out and assaulting other people. I don't think it happened as much back in the day as it does now.
People think it's cool. We have so much money we could do whatever we want.
Yep, fuck you.
That's what it is. And you got guys who are morons and animals out there, and they do that shit and they get away with it.
It starts small. And then because they've got so much money, power, and prestige that they continue to get more and more, it's like, oh, wow, I can continue to test the boundaries and do more and more and more and more.
Give them an inch, they take a mile.
That they're doing shit that's like, hey, we're flying 153 miles an hour. Oh, why was I driving that fast? Well, because my dog was sick. What?
Or
Jordan Addison, by the way.
Somebody carrying a gun on team planes.
Yeah. We don't have to worry. Yeah, exactly.
And then not even 3 weeks later goes ahead and is caught again with the same gun.
Dumbass.
Freedom Fund Adventure says Grumpy, son of Sam, was also a group of killers and not one guy. It's a great documentary out there.
Yeah, I don't believe that's true.
Joseph C says Phil does remind me of Patrick Bateman. I won't lie. Just get him a jacket and the business cards to go with the press shirts.
Okay.
Frank says Mackay took himself out of the game after 7 plays, was scheduled for 21. Said turf wasn't good on his knee. What the fuck is that? I didn't see that.
He's a freaking loser. He's a loser.
There's another player who said he won't play on turf. Different sport, but also said he won't play on turf.
Lionel Messi. Is that you talking about?
That's right.
Little Lionel.
Yeah. I want a penalty.
5'4".
Lionel Messi. That's right.
I love how he commits multiple fouls and infractions in the MLS, and they're not giving him a goddamn. They're not calling a single thing against him.
He's the saint. He's the anointed one. Come on, man.
Yeah, just waiting for pens. Can I get a penalty even though I'm not on the box? Can you go ahead and give the other team a penalty? I need these penalties. Give me all these free goals, please.
Can he keep up the historic play?
Please
I get no. Can he keep it up? I'm like, dude, he scored 3 goals in 4 games? What? Against inferior talent?
Oh no. Hold on a second.
One of those teams gave up gave up the second most goals in the MLS this season.
The Mexican team.
And then then the Mexican team that he beat the first game is the worst ranked team in the Mexican League this year.
In the history of Mexico.
Well, the
Guatemala too.
They haven't won a single game this year. So
the Mexican team that they faced off against, their goalie has a part-time job as a fry cook.
Might as well call him SpongeBob.
Was that X?
So you might as well call him SpongeBob.
What? Hold on.
I don't know what the hell he's wearing around his neck, but
If you're a Jets fan, be happy that they did not pick up his 5th-year option. This guy's a loser.
I don't know why. Again, like you talk about, the swagger you can have, dude. You should be like, I got my Rocky on. I got a shit ton to prove. You shouldn't be freaking blinging yourself out and dressed like that, man. You should be like, I'm looking like I'm a dog on a bone right now. That's how much I've got to prove. But when you wear a huge ass gold chain like that does not scream.
Hey, he's using that for strength and conditioning. That's why
that neck exercise. Hop, hop, hop.
He's actually doing squats with that
to prevent concussions.
That way he'll be ready for the turf fields.
He's got the manual neck going on.
You are both wrong. It's big ticket, admit one. That means he can get into any all-you-can-eat buffet around the country.
How much he had to pay for this one, Grumpy? How much he had to pay for that?
But here's the thing, it doesn't matter because he's banging them up and down the coast. That's what's happening.
All right, let's listen to what.
Okay.
This is what he had to say.
This alignment.
Yeah, I mean, that turf isn't friendly for people of my size and my type of injury.
So what, are you not going to play?
I was feeling.
Oh, motherfucker! Please let us listen. Hold on, Grumpy.
Why the hell is he wearing sunglasses? He's a fucking lineman.
Okay, hold on, Grumpy. Hold on. Remember, I had to jump the volume up, so please let's finish this one and I'll let you respond. You got?
All right.
Can we hold off for 20 seconds?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
Isn't friendly for people of my size and my type of injury. So yeah, I was feeling it in warm up. So I just pulled myself a little early. I'm good though. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
How's it feeling, Makai? Is that pain? Is it just discomfort?
Just a little discomfort. Yeah, I'm good though.
So he was feeling a little bit in warm-ups. That's why he did it. Okay, so that means to me that he's not actually healthy all the way yet. Or
he's a fat fuck. That's his problem.
The one accurate thing of him being a lineman, though, is he's sweating his ass off during that interview. You can see him
he played 7 snaps and he's still sweating his nuts off.
His ass off. And he probably took a shower after the game, too, and dried himself off, and he's still sweating.
He just got done eating at Slippery Sal's all-you-can-eat buffet.
Oh, God. Well, I will say this much. I don't like that response from him. I've been a big supporter of Mekhi Becton. That is not a good answer to that question, my friend.
Where's the other video that we have of Mekhi Becton?
We don't have it, Grumpy. It's
dude. I don't understand why should not be on all. That should be something.
I'm done showing that video, Grumpy. You could sit there and love yourself all over the place watching that video if you'd like to. We're not showing that video once a week. It's just not happening. That joke has been run dry.
You play that fucking Wii hooping shit every freaking week. We should play that video. That should be our video. It should be the thing that we start the show with. Mekhi Becton.
Okay. Tony G says TJ is the most beta alpha I've ever seen.
Ooh.
Wow, Tony Cheese.
Wow.
Anyway, how can we expect Mekhi Becton to play more games? This is the death of college football, TJ.
You read a novel.
He says attendance and ratings are at an all-time
high.
high.
I disagree with you on that, TJ.
Just wait. It's the death of football. Just wait.
Well, honestly, I think the death of football is going to be concussions, and I think you're going to see a lot of kids not play football in the future.
I've already made this abundantly clear. I think that football will be looked at in a century from now as a barbaric sport, and like, how the hell do they play this sport?
Like how they used to use heads when they played dodgeball back in the day.
So just in case people want to hold TJ's feet to the fire, 100 years from now when he's dead, he can always say, I told you. You watch it's going to happen, but he'll be dead before it happens.
So when they're looking up in the archives, they're looking up.
Say, who's this stupid old bastard?
People have VR chips plugged into their fucking brains and shit. They'll be looking at it and saying, oh, yeah, this TJ guy went ahead and said way before it happened that the NFL was going to die a century from now.
No, this is what they're going to say. Who is this idiot saying football was going to die? All families are going to wear gear every day just to get down for lunch and breakfast in the morning. Ah, hit him before you get your hot dog or whatever.
They're going to say he must have suffered through electroshock therapy. That's why he doesn't have any hair on his head.
There you go.
Freedom Fun Adventure says full start and an early finish. TJ, when Greg Prado was on, I was trying to let him know that I was writing my first book. It's about an illiterate, balding dumpster diving guy who marries a doctor and has a great dad.
Sounds like a bestseller.
Who is that about? Freedom Fun Adventure.
It just sounds like a bestseller to me.
Oh man. If only TJ typed that out on a tweet so I could quote it. JP says, Freedom Fun Adventure, those are tough words towards TJ. And I'm sorry. There's no way David Berkowitz had friends, never mind entering into a conspiracy where he was a patsy. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't believe it either.
Drew says here, I will say one thing, TJ. I would like for you to step up your Twitter, now known as X Game. There's going to be one day where I want to go to war with the Lamanites. Where I want
we'll
you
get Phil back. We'll get Phil back on the show.
It's just a lot. And here's the thing. They've got so much time and they sit there and they just toil. They can't help but just sitting and toiling over the thoughts of what the Islanders can be. That's what makes the Lamanites. That's where they gather their strength.
We'd like to tell you
daydreaming.
We'd like to tell you what they're going to be, which is a failure.
All you have to do is just say, how much did we win last year?
Nothing.
There you go. There's your answer. Boom.
Because as a Penn State fan, we consider the University of Pittsburgh a Division II team, TJ. When is the last time Penn State won a Big Ten or a conference in the Big Ten? Oh, wait. That's all I'm going to say, D-Cut.
When was the last time Pittsburgh was relevant in a sport?
They're now relevant.
Really? I didn't realize they made the playoffs last year. Damn.
What sport?
In football.
I didn't realize they made the playoffs last year.
They've had multiple. They've had back-to-back 10-win season. They had 10-win season 2 years ago, 9-win season last year.
Against in the playoffs.
What do you mean?
Who did they play against in the playoffs last year?
Peter and the Piddly Pups.
Who did Oklahoma play in the playoffs last year? Can you tell me?
They did a playoff series well before.
No. Can you tell me who they played?
Okay, he asked you a question, DJ. Why don't you answer his question?
Pittsburgh has less losses in the last 2 years than Oklahoma.
Played Georgia and Clemson in the playoffs. Has Pittsburgh ever made the playoffs since it was started?
They never have.
Let me ask you this. How many Hall of Famers? How many Hall of Famers has University of Oklahoma cranked out? The answer is less than the University of Pittsburgh. You know what? Less than the University of Pittsburgh. So just go ahead, take it up.
X, you are correct. They have never played any of those good teams.
Thank you.
How many losses does Oklahoma have over the last 2 years, and how many losses does the University of Pittsburgh have? I try not to go ahead and look back to the 50s and the 40s. I just look at what's happening recently.
You live in 1908. Yes, and recently, okay, last season, Oklahoma had a historically bad season. 15 recruits were gone. They lost their head coach.
That sounds like a shitty. That sounds like
probably close to a better season than Pittsburgh did.
They did not. They had a shit season, and they're a bad team.
Here's the thing:
playing shit competition.
I just want to say something. X, they did lose a bunch of players and their head coach because they had a head coach and players that other teams deemed as admirable and people that they wanted. You know who didn't gain any and didn't lose any?
That's not true.
Pittsburgh lost one guy.
Who's up for the Heisman?
The guy, yeah, they lost one of the most valuable. Who won the Blitnikoff the year before is the most valuable wide receiver in all of college football. So yeah, I'd say that maybe they lost a piece or two. Maybe they lost.
Okay, yeah, and we lost the Heisman Trophy winner. Okay, so
Heisman Trophy winner.
Point.
Phil Sixton just texted me. He said, "I'm running." This fucking guy said running the data. I have running the data. First off, like this motherfucker is just ridiculous. Running the data.
I feel a Phil
Penguins at either 5th or 6th in the Metro. The guy is just a fucking lunatic.
Wait, what did he say? What did he say?
Running the data.
You want to know what he did?
Wait, stop talking, X.
Motherfucker, please stop running the data. I've got the Penguins finishing at either 5th or 6th in the Metro.
Oh,
would you like to know what he did?
Yes.
He logged into NHL 23 and simulated a season out. That's how he got the data, by the way.
And how did he do it? What was the noise it made when he got the answer?
I am a super computer.
Okay, there it is. JP says Berkowitz's dog may have made him do it.
Not his dog, it was his neighbor's dog.
But his dog also scared away his social support too. Guaranteed. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. Sounds like Kai Becton ate all the Chick-fil-A when he was at college.
He ate everything. He ate all the Chick-fil-A, half the state of Kentucky, every other damn thing.
D-Cut says, hot take, Jordan Love does what Aaron Rodgers couldn't do last year, make the postseason. That's not happening.
I don't. Here's the thing. The NFC is weak, but I don't think they're good enough this year.
No, they suck. They're not going to be better than the Minnesota Vikings.
Or Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit's damn good. JP says, Chick-fil-A is delicious. Extra pickles, please. No pickles, please.
Please tell me you have something I sent you about Dan Campbell.
Motherfucker, we are 2 hours and 40 minutes in. You want to talk about Dan Campbell wanting to have or asked about having a lion on the sidelines?
Yes.
This is the type of shit that you give me where it's like, come on, dude. Okay, go ahead and talk about it.
That's what this show is about. What about Dan Campbell?
Shitty takes by Grumpy. That's what this show's about.
Lunkhead. The fact he wants to bring up an actual lion on the field.
Who cares?
What kind of idiot?
On part of my take, you said that you had considered getting a pet lion on the sidelines.
I did.
Have you had any further conversations about bringing a live lion?
Well, I would say that she had no problem with it, but the league apparently frowns on those type of things.
Roger Goodell, John
I'm not going to point out Roger on this. I'm just going to say that the league frowns on that. Let's just say that.
Okay, it'd be nice though to have a lion sitting behind Jack Fox, being like, "You better punt that."
It does have a little scare tactic.
It does.
You guys got to play.
It's
for
a
the
little
job
extra
and their life.
motivation.
Yeah.
So
I think if the lion's cage, does it really matter?
No, I think they let him run around free. Born free as the wind blows.
All righty. Thank God we just wasted
as free
time
as
on
the
that.
grass grows.
God, Grump, stop.
Fuck. All righty. Tell us more about Reggie Jackson, all right, man, and the big fight that happened, and you could see it. Okay. All righty, Guppy. D-Cut says, have you guys ever watched a second of Slam Ball on ESPN? It's wild. It looks cool. Grumpy hates it. Grumpy will never watch, but it looks kind of fun.
It's a bastardization of trampolines and basketball.
It looks fun. JP says, hell, even in the early days, the Ivy League schools were clandestinely hiring ringers.
Oh, TJ got a big word right.
I know how to read, Grump. That's all I'm going to say.
Just not English.
7 rushing touchdowns, TJ. Those count. We're talking about for Daniel Jones.
I'm sure.
Yeah, QB sneaks on the 1 yard line. I don't necessarily say he's fantastic about. Drew, I bet you that Tua will take.
I bet you'll take Tua over Daniel Jones. What about that? That's actually a pretty good question. What do you think, TJ?
No. Tua, I don't think could. Okay, if I was like I'm changing teams to the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins are in better shape than the Giants right now. Yeah. I don't think Tua would play well in the cold and windy environment in New York in the middle of wintertime. So
Can't
not
throw the ball.
sure I'm doing that.
Really
He's
got
got
tough.
a noodle of an arm. Exactly. He would be good in the summertime, but as soon as it came around like November or even October, you'd start to see he's playing like dog shit and throwing a million interceptions a game.
He would suck for the Giants, in my opinion.
Yes, he would.
Because they don't have any weapons. Guys aren't wide open all over the field.
Yep.
And his lack of arm strength would hurt him. X, any opinions on that, boy?
I think Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Tua because he can stay healthy.
There you go. Short and sweet from Son X.
Yep.
Freedom Fun Adventure says, it's obviously a fiction book and kind of crazy, but I'll post it here when it's available. Oh, well, thank you, Freedom Fun. I'm looking forward to listening to it. He says, play it. I don't know, Alexander, what he says, play, but he's like, play it or not, rock the vote. Okay, here. Brandon Gaines says here, Jones threw for 15 touchdowns and ran for 7. That's still good. How was Josh Allen before he got Stephon Diggs? Again, his numbers were still better than Daniel Jones's numbers, no?
Jones has been in the league for how many years now? 5 years?
Why did you? I'm thinking. Was he same draft class as Josh Allen, right?
Well, if it's the same draft class, there is no comparison between the two. I think Allen was drafted before Daniel Jones, no?
He was drafted back in 2018. I thought they were the same draft class, but maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering. I wouldn't put it past me. No, that's when we stupidly drafted Saquon Barkley with the 2nd overall pick. Okay, I'm confusing them. So Josh Allen, a real franchise caliber quarterback, was available, but we wanted to get a depreciable, shitty asset like a fucking running back, Saquon Barkley.
Okay, let's get to the next comment.
That's right. So 2019 was the draft.
So the year after, no, there's no comparison. Daniel Jones still hasn't had a great year in the league.
He's never thrown for more than 3,200 passing yards in a season.
Yeah, come on.
Okay,
I can't even believe.
When did Stephon Diggs join when did he join the Buffalo Bills?
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Okay, so back in 2020, he was not part of the Bills. Is that right?
I don't give me the years. 2 years ago. I think he's been in Buffalo for maybe 3 years ago. You remember, Josh Allen was not a polished product coming out of Wyoming. It took him a couple of years, but I was the first one to say Josh Allen's the man. Do not give up on Josh Allen. He just had played a lower level, and he needed some freaking reps playing. Learn how to play. He did it under Brian Daboll in Buffalo. Brian Daboll is he's a really good offensive coach.
Okay. So you're looking at what he did. That was the first year with Stephon Diggs, 1,500 yards. He also threw 900 yards to Cole Beasley, 600 yards to Gabriel Davis, 450 yards roughly to John Brown, Dawson Knox, 288 yards, Isaiah McKenzie. Okay, you look at the overall stats of a guy
there is no
Josh Allen. He still was winning games at 23, his second year in the league. Daniel Jones was still riding the pine 2 years into the league. Am I right thinking that?
I don't know when he started. You can pull up Daniel Jones. But just look at the yard. There's no comparison between the two. Come on. I can't even believe they came out of his mouth. Brandon, what the hell? You know better than that. Come on.
Okay, you look at Daniel Jones, drafted in 2019. He played 12 games, went 3-9. My God. Okay. He's the most yards this motherfucker's ever thrown for is 3,205 yards in a season. Are we kidding me?
Yeah.
Is this a joke? He's progressing, except backwards. His first year he threw for 24 touchdowns.
Regressing.
I know, but I wanted to say he's progressing, except backwards, right? His first year, 24 touchdowns. Don't worry. It took him all of his 2021 and 2022 games to get the 25 touchdowns in the passing that way. Oh, isn't that great? He's just a freaking average QB.
He's just a guy. He's a jag.
I think he's worse than that.
Nah, he's in the mix of.
Last year was the high watermark for him. Last year was the highest watermark we've seen, and he is a shit quarterback. He is garbage. He's bottom 10 of the NFL.
This will be a big year for him to determine whether or not he's something or not.
He's not going to do shit.
Okay.
They pulled out every single freaking trick in the book they had last year in order to conceal his freaking deficiencies.
And that's where Brian Daboll's a really good coach.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah. I will say, Grumpy, Wee Hoopin does sometimes eat his own snot on his live streams.
I'm not surprised. Actually, I was joking, but that does not shock me at all.
Tiger's the man, says Frank.
And golf, it would be absolutely Tiger Woods.
Yep. Mario says one player that transcended all sport was Pele.
Yep.
I would say, Pele for soccer for sure.
Grumpy just basically described everything that I hate about Alvin Kamara. Now, D-Cut sent us a solid fan fight. I'll pull that up here. Drew L. Grumpy.
I never thought there'd be a civil argument about whose house is cleaner. Am I living in the 1700s or what?
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. I love it when I'm called a hoarder, and the wardens even called me a hoarder as well. But I don't think they actually know what a hoarder is.
He says you hoard magazines.
Okay, I maybe have
30 G's says you hoard.
I maybe have like 2 or 3 boxes of magazines. That is not a hoarder. I'm sorry, it's not.
So this is a game. Now this has to be
and they're like boxes like this.
Wofford.
They will fit in a closet.
This is from Woffers against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Against who?
Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Wolverhampton? It's
Yeah.
Wolverhampton, not Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton Wanderers, Grumpy.
The right people to come. Look.
There you go.
Because there's just trying to go to the wall.
There we go.
Oh, went for fucking kids. Whoa, just swung at kids. Fucking little dickheads.
See you later, mate.
Yeah, fucking 15.
Throw him over the edge. Throw him over the edge.
Yeah. Deserves it. Fucking deserves it. No, stop. Yeah, he deserves it. He went for himself. Oh, you're absolutely nuts.
Drop him again.
Yeah.
He's an
The
enemy
right
territory.
people to Tom, look.
There you go. What's that, Grump?
He's an enemy territory. Watch
That-
that.
Yeah.
He's swinging at kids is right.
He
Look
thought
at
he
that kid. He's
was
just
one-man
bouncing
army.
all around. Boom. Oh, that's a good one. They did not
They
take
should have flipped him over the edge. That's what they should have done. Flipped him right over the edge.
You could kill a guy like that, Grump.
Oh, well. He won't mess with the crowd again.
Oh, stop, Grumpy.
Don't go into enemy territory with the other team's jersey. Just kind of.
Oh, dude. You talk about, look at these solid punches over here. These are some solid punches right here. These Brits, boom.
They know how to throw punches there. That kid, he took one too. He's no Tim Anderson. He took that punch.
My God. Dude, that's right. Look at this shit. It's like Rocky 4, Rocky 3.
That's a straight right. He hit him with the straight right there.
They're both hitting each other. They both have made connection with each other's faces.
Well, the guy in the yellow took a bigger punch than the guy in the green.
Oh, I'm not saying he didn't, but I'm just saying they both throw a damn solid punch. Look at this shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is slow-mo.
On target. Boom.
Boom. Holy shit.
Most
They
of the
both held
steam
their
was-
water. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Thanks, there, D-Cut. I like that. That puts a smile on my face here. Drew, you could draft Caleb Williams. Ugh. He's not a guy who's going to pan out either. The Giants are too good to even have a chance at Caleb Williams. Bad quarterback or not. That's why I don't think the Buccaneers will be as bad as people say they will be. I think they're going to have like 6 or 7 wins.
So they'll be one of the 8 worst teams in the league. Okay, I think that's pretty shitty.
The UFC is far from dead. I think Dana White helps keep the UFC. Dana White and Joe Rogan are single-handedly keeping the UFC alive.
Is Joe Rogan even involved with them anymore?
Yes.
I didn't think he was
He's
involved with
there for some of the fights.
He absolutely is still involved.
He used to do like all the announcing for that.
Yeah.
His podcast, he talks about UFC fights.
Well, I'm just saying I didn't even know he was involved with them anymore. He used, like I said, he used to be the guy who did the commentary.
Freedom Fund Adventure says the Tates are great and those charges are made up. Even the alleged victims say so.
They don't like him because he's a man.
Alexander says if Saquon isn't like Saquon, the Giants have no shot. Andriel said, Grumpy, so many people watch UFC. You don't realize that it's massive internationally.
I don't care about international. I'm talking about in this country. I mean, you can't even, it's not even like something that you see on regular TV, really. Everything's pay-per-view. Everything's pay-per-view.
That's the way. Why would you not do pay-per-view? You maximize your money.
It's why it'll never be as popular as it could be. Boxing used to be super popular in this country. UFC is not super popular. It's not. Are they having millions of people watch UFC? Yeah. They are not. They're not getting millions of fucking people watching their fights.
Wrong. Here you go. Read this comment. What'd you do, Grump? What'd you do,
Trump? Who are you, Trump? Say that again.
Wrong. I think wrong. Here you go. Next comment there.
X, you just said the cardinal sin for Grumpy. He's about to explode.
What did you say?
Oh, I was talking about Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, gotcha. JP said, I hate to come to this confession and conclusion, but my screwballs and the Islanders never say die league are just as mediocre as the Islanders right now.
Yeah. The only thing is hope is other teams are losers. TJ squeaked out a win today to put himself in playoff position.
It depends on what happened with the game-winning RBIs. I don't know if I had any game-winning RBIs. I know that I think he had one game-winning RBI. The guy was playing against Dallas Metzi.
Okay.
So, Grump, over 1 million people tuned into the last UFC fight.
That's pretty decent, wouldn't you say?
Just 1 million?
Paid for a pay-per-view, and that's only through ESPN.
Okay. I stand corrected.
JP says, I've become what a most arbor.
Abhor. It's abhor, like what he abhors.
Drew L says here, looks like Mekhi Becton decided to put a billboard on a chain. It's a big one. LC Greenwood wore pretty crazy outfits. I don't hold it against him. I don't hold it against anyone.
He's defensive lineman. Offensive linemen are different.
Yeah. Oh, TJ Weehubin's live on Twitch. The Lamanites. Oh, inflation exists.
Okay.
Jim Irsay wants an orca of paying Jonathan Taylor That's what's wrong with having a lion. Told you Alex Jones is better. Good says, what is John Wayne Babbitt?
Bob it.
Is he fully healed?
Fucking Babbitt. Bobbit.
Is he fully healed, Grumpy?
I would say by now, I hope he is. Do you even know who he is?
No, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Okay. He was married to a young lady named Lorena Bobbitt, and he came home. I don't know if he was drunk or whatever. She got pissed, and she cut his dick off, and she spit it out on the side of the road, and she got arrested by the cops, and was charged with maiming. And they sewed it back on, and it worked again. And I think he actually did a porn movie way back.
Christ fucking mighty. Yeah, I could have gone without knowing that about Grumpy.
Well, I told you who he was. And
you just told us that he got it chopped off.
That was okay. That was we chopped it off. So the joke was that she spit it out traveling in the car. She's like, spit it out, whatever. But here's the thing: it was really a big story back in the day, really big.
Gungun says Sauce Gardner graduated college the other day. I'm serious.
Good for him. Good for him.
Is Dalvin Cook a scumbag or a knight in shining armor? What did he do?
I don't think he's either.
I don't know. Has he done something to not be?
Hasn't signed a contract.
Oh,
Anybody.
okay. Oh, Grumpy, I heard from the warden that you hoard water bottles.
Not true. Absolutely not true.
Grumpy, people think the Buccaneers are about to go 2-15.
No.
I was referring to that.
No.
Saying that they're going to be bad, or they're not going to be, or that they were going to be as bad as that, because the overall roster is still elite.
No, it's not. They're old. They are old. They're an old team.
I think they probably fall between 5 and 7 wins.
Yeah.
They had it live on ESPN cable television last night, Grump, and not on a non-pay-per-view. Oh, wow. Okay. The Tates were released from house arrest recently in Romania. Mario says here, Joe Rogan now only does U.S. fights. He no longer does international fights. And the UFC kind of killed itself when it went to ESPN. The contract reduced the reach it had when they were on Fox.
Yeah, like I said, I never hear about it anymore. UFC.
Grumpy, where do you place Lou Gehrig in the sports lexicon? He does give the most memorable speech. He did give the most memorable speech in all sports.
And they made the movie Pride of the Yankees based on his life. I thought that Gary Cooper was Lou Gehrig when I was a kid. And he was tremendous. I mean, he's got to be top first baseman all time. He was tremendous. His career was shortcut by Lou Gehrig's disease.
ALS.
Yep, ALS. Amorphic, whatever, lateral sclerosis. And I'm sure I got the first word wrong. But ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. But he was a phenomenal baseball player. I mean, just tremendous. He was the RBI king. You couldn't walk Ruth because you had Gehrig after him. But they did.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
Isn't that what I said?
I don't fucking know. Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS.
Yep. Yeah, but he's without it. I think he's the greatest first baseman of all time.
Drew L said, you can get Scott Hansen's NFL Red Zone for just as cheap as $11 a month. That sounds like a bargain to me.
Okay.
Andrew L says here, the GOAT had another late-minute free kick. A lot better shot than the first shot.
Wait, I thought Ronaldo just hit a shot outside the box today for their team to move on past the round of 16.
Yeah, it's the first time that Al Nassr made it past or made it this deep in the Saudi Cup since 1995. Yep. So, yeah. Well, here's the thing: the Burger League. Did Messi score another goal in the Burger?
I think it was 4.
Yeah. He was the goalkeeper again, mad out of position.
I don't understand.
Let's take 3, 4, 5 steps to try and get position to even jump for the ball. Like, what are you doing? They also had an own goal, which made it so they could tie the game up as well. FC Dallas.
And Miami's tied right now.
Yep. Look at the own goals. I mean, when you're having own goal after own goal in your league, how good is your league really?
It sucks.
Okay. I mean, how often do you see Real Madrid having own goals?
Never.
That's my point. Once maybe every 3 years?
It doesn't happen.
Look at the fucking quality of players he's playing against. They're all shit. At least the Saudi League's been boning up and adding some legitimate European stars to their roster. They're playing in the fucking Hamburger League.
Is he playing in the women's soccer league?
Might as well with the amount of own goals.
JP says here, I thought Mantl's speech or 1968 speech when they retired as number 7 was touching too.
Yeah, Lou Gehrig's the greatest sports speech ever.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Face of the birth.
I couldn't remember if it was planet or Earth, so I mixed them.
So birth.
Earth. On the face of the birth.
The face
oh my God! I mean, and he knew he was gonna die.
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, just today you'd find somebody crying about it, and oh, woe is me. And the guy was, there was a great book about him, The Luckiest Man, I believe it's called. I have the book. Really, really in-depth biography on him. Really a good read.
I'm going to comment here from Joseph C. saying, to be frank, the Giants' weapons suck. I don't expect Jones to be great, but he could throw for.
You know what? I'll be happy
if they go more pass heavy.
Is this Andy Francis who sent this comment in?
No, this is Joseph C.
Okay, because he's never done that. Like, we're going to have 8 20-goal scorers to the Islanders. We wound up having 3. I mean, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I'd be happy if he threw 20.
I was about to say
never
20,
done that before.
20 is, I think, a big. He's thrown 24 touchdowns his rookie year. That's what I'm saying. Like, his rookie year was the God,
12 interceptions and 17 fumbles, or whatever the hell it was. I mean,
he's in a game manager role. I'd be shocked if he threw 21 touchdowns is like the high watermark for a guy like that. JP says here, Phil Esposito's number retirement was one that I'll never forget as well. He was genuinely moved and genuinely grateful to Bork and also the city of Boston.
That's when Raymond Bork gave up his number. He changed his number to 77 so they could retire Phil Esposito's number. That was a good retirement ceremony. But to me, the greatest sports speech by a player was Lou Gehrig, and for Jim Valvano's was great too at the ESPYs.
Jimmy V,
tremendous.
But Grumpy, we are here in Sunex at the end of our show. 3 hours in at the end of our show here today. What do you want to say before we wrap things up?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't. From TJ, the grumpy old man, and Sunex.
And Sunex, what do you want to say before we wrap things up?
Just want to thank everybody for coming out and listening and staying this long. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time.
Next time.
Oh, there it is. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and listening to the show here today. We'll be live with you guys this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for the input. Thank you so much for the comments. We'll see you guys here soon. Oh, Angel says, Ronaldo plays in the Halal Food Truck League.
The other guy plays for Burger King.
He's playing. Okay, the Saudi League's already better than the MLS, and in 5 years, it's gonna be a top 5. Yes,
they both suck. They both suck.
They're both not great.
When's the last time you've watched the top tier Saudi teams play each other?
I can't watch them. They suck.
The difference is though, one guy at 35/36 was playing for Juventus/Manchester United. The other guy's playing in the Cheeseburger League. That's the difference.
That's true.
One guy was winning Manchester United Player of the Season, winning
Player of the Month,
Serie A Player of the Year, and the other guy's playing in the fucking MLS.
Oh boy,
tells you all you need to know. That fucking Missy. Maybe he can go miss himself a few more pens.
Lionel Missy.
There
it is.
Well, the game is going to pen, so who knows? He might.
Oh,
he's
choked those away.
Yeah, he's playing in the no pressure league.
MLS, I was going to say, I don't think he has any pressure. I could absolutely see him converting his penalty. No pressure.
Does MLS not have ties?
They're in the round of 32 for the league.
Yeah, it's like the cup. So they're playing like the Mexican league in the MLS. So it's like a cup competition.
Okay.
The same thing's going on in the Saudi league right now.
Oh, okay. So in other words, he's not even playing MLS teams.
Well, he is. He's playing FC Dallas. They're ranked 8th in their conference.
Okay. All right.
Or division maybe.
Okay.
Thank you so much. See you guys Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much, Grumpy. Thanks so much, Sun X.
My pleasure.